I'm going to say something controversial, yeah. Old school, we used to say, old school, don't no one kill me. We said, never pitch the bitch. Old school.
See, old school, that's like, this is going to sound bad. You needed to say this is going to, you didn't say it. I feel like the biggest problem when people start out is they want the sale too bad. I think you should just want to get good at sales first. And the way that you get sales is by trying different things. So like,
what I learned from sales has gone on to just apply for everything in life. So very hard to defeat someone like me because I've called every day for 8 years. Like, hard for me to tap out of anything I get involved in because I understood the concept of one call could change my life. So I kept calling.
Any advert that's about like skincare, something like that, they're gonna put someone in a lab coat. Subconsciously, you just take that person in. Yeah. You're in a lab coat, you know what's best for my skin. but the thing is, I can't act all high and mighty because we're all victims to marketing. As smart as we like to be, and even though I know it, these things go over my head, and there's probably that's obviously an obvious one. There's other tricks that will just go over your head, but that's what I think the beauty of sales is. It's like,
you know what I've realized most people do? They put all the emphasis on the close. All their bullets come when and it's so obvious they're going into the close because they're like, right, so, and then now you're now selling me. You've done all this fake listening, you've done all this fake rapport, you've now made it clear you're now about to sell me. Because you think, what most people think, should I say, that this is the time now's the close. The close shouldn't feel like that.
being a closer, it sounds glamorous, but if I threw you in on a product that is 25k, let's say, and you're taking one sales call a day, you're just gonna lose it. If you didn't close in the first week, you've had 5 calls, probably aren't gonna close any of them. Now you've lost your role, now you're screwing, now sales doesn't work, now camera's a scammer. That's actually how it goes.
Camera's a scammer.
That's actually how it goes.
I know, that's got to go on the trailer. That's got to go on the trailer.
That's actually how it goes.
Welcome to another episode of the CEO of You, where we interview entrepreneurs, go-getters, ultimately anyone that wants to improve their life. And today we got 2 professionals sitting in front of me, strictly here to talk about sales.
Yeah. We're here, man. CEO of You, thanks for having us again, man. This time we come as a duo, so you know it's double trouble.
Yeah, double trouble still.
100%.
Wow, getting onto the topic of conversation, it's just going to be purely sales.
It's amazing, man.
I'm trying to hear gems.
One, we do.
So one, because sales makes money, and secondly, for selfish reasons, as somebody who's in the game of sales.
Yeah.
And obviously, usually I would come to Trist to talk about sales, but today we're going to start off with the man over there, Cam. Sales. Let me just ask you this one question, just to start with a big bang. I know for a fact you both talk about working at your laptop, doing the meetings over there. So I just want to ask you this. What's been the biggest deal you've closed doing remote sales?
Biggest deal doing remote sales?
Straight in with the heavy. Straight in.
Do you know what? The biggest deals are not that much, like 7.5k, 8k. 8k recurring would have been. So it's 8k every single month. But with what I'm doing, because I'm selling my own products, we just don't have anything that's more than 8k. Like that literally is it. I wish I could say like 250k.
I feel like 8k for some people would have been like, raw, 8k.
Oh yeah, no, it's all right. But
well.
look, some of the people that we placed closed bigger deals. Like that we spoke about on the last pod we were on. One of someone that we placed closes Airbnb deals for 25k. So like that's a bigger deal. But yeah, 8k a month is the highest that I've closed.
Sick.
You know when we talk recurring, is that every 4 weeks, 6 weeks?
Yeah, so it's every month. So it's every month. And it was just a client of mine that I had, and we maintained him for a while. We maintained him for over 10 months. So if I wanted to do the clickbait thing, if I wanted to do the clickbait thing, I'd say 80 grand.
80 grand deal.
We're looking for numbers. But yeah, no, 8k a month. 8k a month.
You know what you could say? Tris, now obviously you was it telesales?
High ticket sales.
Telesales,
oh yeah.
High ticket sales. So what's been the biggest deal you've closed?
My biggest deal was 330k, but remember what we were selling was much more high ticket in the sense of there wasn't even, to be honest, to correct that, there wasn't even a ticket in the sense of it was just what someone wanted to invest in. So at that time we was working in the fine wine industry. So what we would have is like we'd have clients, so you'd have new biz and you'd have loads. So when you get to a point of where you're a closer, you then go past being a closer, you're a loader, so you keep your clients. So I had a client, which is a regular thing anyway, not just like, this big, massive story, but I had a client who came on board, I can't remember how much for, and then I loaded him for 330k. That was my biggest deal in one check.
Just a one-time thing?
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, you just cashed it in.
Yeah.
Listen. What kind of commission are we talking on that?
20% those times. So when I'm referring, so whenever I refer to me on a sell, closing, I was on 20%. When I refer to me training and running companies, then I was on a good percent. Obviously, me and my business partner at the time had a deal. I won't get into those percents just because it involves other people in it. But it was better than the percent of just being on the phones, innit?
Fair enough.
Sick. So I want to obviously get to know you guys as for selfish reasons when it comes to sales. Obviously, someone who's doing sales myself. I just want to ask you guys. So I could imagine you have loads of people asking you what remote sales is, how can they get into remote sales. So for you guys to answer this, what is remote sales?
Remote sales, the easiest way is selling remotely. And I know that sounds dumb, but I don't want to come on here and make it seem like it's this crazy thing that you need this to get into or that. It's literally any sales role that you're working from your own house or from a remote place.
Yeah, I want to actually on this podcast tour, I want to slightly change the position and focus more like high ticket, in the sense of like, as he said, remote's just a location, isn't it? But realistically, remote sales is usually like hand in hand with it being high ticket, generally speaking. So yeah, that's what it is. In regards to how to get into it, there's multiple ways. Cam, I'll let Cam tell you the ways.
Do you know what? The way that most people do, and the way that I would get into it if I had to start again, is I'd go kind of the agency route. So what I mean by the agency route is I would reach out to people who would probably need a high ticket closer. So the easiest way to get into it is to look somewhere where money's already flowing, just talk to them, say, hey, do you need a closer? 9 times out of 10 they don't, but if you ask enough people, remember like with the outreach that we spoke about, once you reach enough people, you'll get into it. The other ways you can get into it are just like the basic things like Indeed, LinkedIn, someone like us can help you get into it. But it's just the same way you'd get any other job, networking, just different things. It's not, like I said, something that I want to do, and I think we're important to cut the crap on it, is that it's not something that's this crazy industry that you can't get into. Like, there are people that need it, and if you're good, that's the thing, if you're good, you can get into it. The problem is people will come on these podcasts and talk about 80k deals, 330k deals, and they'll try and sell it to people as if you can wake up tomorrow and get into a role where you can do that. And that isn't the case. Like, the first step is getting good at sales. Once you're good at sales, you'll be able to get a job easily. The problem is if you're not good at sales, you won't be able to get a job.
Facts.
So what are like the skills and qualities you guys would qualify to be a great class closer?
So firstly, it's not to plug, but it's being able to digest everything we've just put together in the academy. So what I mean by that is within that academy, we've got listening skills, questioning skills, NLP, so neuro-linguistic programming, understanding what humans are doing and what they're not doing, what they're telling you and what they're not, what their subconscious brain is doing, which is all quite deep for a new person. But for someone who's just getting in sales now, listening and tonality are the main 2 things I'd say you want to start with. If you can start with those, then anyone who runs a sales company that's reputable is going to look at you as with potential, 100%. That was the first thing that got my senior's attention, was my tonality, before I knew all these extra skills. But the extra skills are important. If you're talking about a prolific closer, they need to be able to master the art of listening, know how to answer questions, when to answer questions, what way you should position or even say anything about finances. So, for example, how Tom, Dick and Harry would say, okay, it's going to be £50,000 compared to how I would say it or someone I've trained would say it. It's very different because every word matters. So if we get deep, I know we're going to get deep today, but if we get deep, like sales, it's very pedantic. Like every word matters. It isn't, like Cam always says, it's not simple, but it's not easy, but it's simple.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, like it's not easy, but it is quite straightforward once you learn it. It isn't something that like a child, I could teach a child how to sell. It's not that deep, but there's a whole lot of practices that people just don't know exist. So for example, how to say a figure, when to say it, how to breathe, when to pause. Like, do you know what I mean? A lot of people don't know. It goes over a lot of people's head.
Yeah.
All right, then. So when did you lot first encounter sales? Like, when was that first
For
time?
me, well, do you know what? If we're really, really going back, like my first thing to ever sell was actually a T-shirt. I made it. I think I might even have said it on the last podcast with you guys. I made a T-shirt, and that T-shirt brand was a representation of my mix CD. I was like 14 years old. That was the first thing I actually someone actually gave me money for. And I was like, right, this is mad. And then after that, I started selling. I used to go, so we got Wembley and Vauxhall Market, so they just sell like knockoff 110s and Stone Island. I became known for the 110s, like you could get the one. So that was my first kind of sales. But professionally, I actually started on, I started in a real groggy cold call center, like doing like surveys for like Oxfam, and like anyone who knows telesales knows that's where you start. Like it says £7 an hour, you can start tomorrow. Like I saw it and I was like, I'm starting tomorrow, and you could leave the same day. Like I walked in, I was like, this ain't for me, and I left at lunch. Like just because the environment was just like, it was just not. It worked like a buzzing sales office. It's just literally ring, ring, hello, like proper call center. That was my first experience.
What about you?
My first professional sales was in just the agency space. And I was just blagging it. I didn't know anything. I went online. There was some kind of script. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this. Went on a sales call. And you know what? I closed my first call.
Sick.
But then the guy wanted his money back after like a week. Because before I even started the work, so I closed him, he paid me the money. Then like a week later, he just wanted the money back because he was like, oh, you know what? I don't want to do this. And then it ended up falling through. But the money hit my account. It left my account, but it hit the account first, man. That's my little claim to fame.
The first is just like the first deal is like, I was gonna say suck it, your dick quick, but the first deal, is like it's not it's like you're not a gallus. You just got a ting in it.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying?
I
Like you ain't worked it out
that.
yet. Like my first deal, I closed my first deal like my first week. In high ticket sales, like the main part of my career that I always refer to, but I didn't close again for like 3 months, bro.
Yeah, I was the same. I didn't close anyone again for ages after that. I actually after that after the first sale, I must be a sales mastermind. That was me. I must be a sales. So the fact that people aren't buying. These guys they're not good prospects, man. That was my thing. At first I was like, no, these are the wrong people.
I am that guy.
I have to be. I
100%.
closed on my first call. I must be great. And now you're not closing. That's your fault.
100%.
So if there's one thing I learned about sales, obviously, because what we do is sales through direct marketing. And I kind of believe when it comes to sales, it's all a mindset thing, as in how strong is your head to keep going, keep putting up the numbers. You know, and then he balances out with the law of averages.
Yeah.
What's that one skill would you say separates top sellers compared to just an average seller?
Mindset wise, definitely my main thing is emotional management. I put a lot of stuff out about that on my socials, like emotional management, because in sales it's going to be roller coasters every single day. Like within 10 minutes you can think you're about to make 10 grand, and you could actually then think that you bloody owe 5 grand. Like it can go for those extremes. A client can incline that they're going to buy and incline that they're on board with you, and then because you haven't done all the other factors that most people overlook, you mess the deal up. You get too excited, you think the deal's done, it's not done. Come off the phone, you think it's closed, but now they've got to go through a process of, depending on your sales process, might be paperwork, might be having to call the bank, might be having to log on to an online system, got warnings about don't send money, this, that, and the other. Then you got to overcome those. Then it might not even get sent straight away. Then you got to call them back and tell them what they're paying for. It's a lot of obstacles, generally speaking, obviously based on your sales structure. So if they're not really, really sold, between them saying, yes, I'll do it, and then paying is mad emotional roller coaster. Prior to even that, you could be on a phone call, and if you're like too optimistic or even too pessimistic, both can go the wrong way. So you could end up negging yourself out on a call where it's like, that's actually a good guy. Like wake up, bro, call him back. Yeah. Or you could feel yourself so much and think, this is the done deal. It's like, bro, it's not done yet. So for me, I always say like mindset-wise, emotional management, and the other one I'd say is resilience.
Big facts.
In the sense of like I always say, like a million cold calls, like that's like my unofficial trophy, in the sense of like, what does that really show you? It's a testament to my dedication to keep calling. And I think what I learned from sales has gone on to just apply for everything in life. So like it's very hard to defeat someone like me, because I've called every day for 8 years. Like it's hard to defeat someone who's gonna keep calling you, bro. Like I'm gonna keep calling you. Do you know what I mean? Like it's hard for me to tap out of anything I get involved in, because I understood the concept of one call could change my life. So I kept calling. So you ain't gonna cancel me out of anything, because I'm gonna just keep calling. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I'd say.
What about yourself, Cam?
No, I'd echo that with resilience. My thing's just putting the numbers up, man. But I know you said it was the law of averages. I don't think that though.
You don't think law of average?
No. So depending on what you mean, for sure. So my thing is, you just putting the numbers up alone doesn't work. Like you have to actively put the numbers up, think about where you went wrong, what you can do better. Like just doing the numbers. So like if you just make calls, because I feel like something that I would say in a very simplified version, and if someone took it out of context, they would think if you just call enough times, you're gonna get rich. that on its own isn't true. Like, you're gonna close deals if you just keep calling, but you're only actually gonna start making money because you're gonna get better after calling that many times. But the only way you get better is by actually thinking about the calls and thinking about, okay, when I do this, it's like pattern recognition. When I say hello like this, they like me, versus when I say hello like this, they don't like me. Then noticing all those small things, making those small tweaks is what's gonna get you money. I don't think you're just gonna get money just from calling alone if you don't improve.
All right, hear this. What part of the sales process is the most important? Is it the closing? Is it the consolidating?
Because we had a conversation with
Chase.
Chase, and we was like, I think it was a closing or the building rapport, building that impulse to get them to buy, and then boom.
Nah, it's not the closing, man.
So before you answer,
Yeah.
what did you say your answer was? The close or the building rapport?
I think I ended up saying the close.
I think I said the report, because I was saying some people will close themselves if you just building enough
100%.
rapport. And I think Chase said the close.
So the reason why I say that it's not the rapport is just to confirm your question, the most important part you said, yeah. So the reason I say that's not the most important part is because, like you just said, if you do the first parts right, that actually gets done. That's just done by default. Like, it's just, you don't even, if you actually do the first parts right, you don't even actually have to think about that, to be honest. Like, I don't know what level or what experiences you guys have had, but I've had multiple experiences where, to be fair, majority of my experiences are the clients close themselves. Most of my experiences are the clients close themselves. Not because I'm flipping, like, walking on water, but because I've done so much of my work in the beginning stages.
But that's building the right rapport.
I was going to get into that. Yes, I was going to say, I want to correct you slightly on the building rapport. And for me, I would say, firstly, to explain to people what rapport is. Because what a lot of sales trainers will say rapport is usually like just getting in conversation, like, oh, how was London? London was good. Like, like, great. Like, whatever. Like, really nice guy he was.
So when you think of rapport, what would you go? So for me, I would say something like form, like family, occupation, recreation, the motivation. Pick on anything and then just build it. Because obviously what we do is direct marketing. So think about it like this. We come to your door, 30 seconds. I got to make you think I'm a good guy.
Yeah.
I'll just think about it. Hi, how you doing? Kai, subscribe. And then pick on your name, what you do for work. Straight away, you kind of build and report with me. Just like Messi, how would you do it on a telesale?
So firstly, just so you know, I've done face to face. Yeah. I've done face to face. I've done face to face with door to door. I've done leafleting outside. Bro, I've done everything. Leafleting outside train stations. And obviously, I'm originally an events guy, so a lot of my experience comes from handing out flyers for 6 years straight. Like, I'm a real reps man. Like, in regards to things.
You've been there.
Yeah. So when it comes to the building rapport, I slightly disagree with you. I'll tell you why. Because you come into the door, and don't get me wrong, you may have had a different experience, but where you could definitely improve on that is you come into the door and asking me questions straight away is quite invasive. Like, that's not necessarily, that doesn't lead, you're going to get few. Sales is always statistics, but generally speaking, you've come to the door to interrupt my life and then you've asked me questions about me. My guard's going to go up naturally. Again, I'm going to keep making this disclaimer because a lot of sales trainers out there, they say things as just one rule for everyone. This can be broken. There are anomalies, but generally speaking, most human beings will feel that there's a certain level of resistance they're going to bring up because you've come to their door. Yeah. So
how would you do it? Yeah.
So if it was face to face or whether it's telephone, my first thing is to the rapport to be in tune with what the aim of the call is. So if the aim of this call is, let's say for example, it is what's yours in your scenario?
So
aim of the visit.
We're selling Swish Fiber. It's like an
Okay, let's get them to change their internet provider.
First thing is, hey, I'm Kai from Swish Fiber. Then I'll drop you up. I'm guessing you probably seen us around before, get them thinking, and then I would move on from there. So what we have like, it's like as I said, a step-by-step process.
Yeah.
Like 5 steps to a successful conversation. So you know, you have the intro, short story, what you're doing around, presentation, and then you qualify them. And that's what I'm saying. When it comes to like the qualifying questions, when I've told them what I'm doing here, I would build up so much rapport to the point where you said you can afford it. You said this is for you. You said you can.
But when did you do this rapport? You done this after you said what you're doing?
I've done this after I said what I'm doing.
See, I would never do that.
So how
like,
would you do
the way I teach people is that's the first thing you do. Like, to straight away work out if you're talking to the right person straight away. So,
you would
first 3 factors would be, are they liquid, as in have they got the money to buy what you're selling? Are they the decision maker? And are they going to give you the respect to someone who's in charge of this conversation? For me, don't get me wrong, that way will work, but you'll spend more time than I would.
In fact, you know what? You are right, because I did. Can't remember when we was training with you, and I was like, anytime we had a woman at the door, don't take offense. She wasn't the bill payer. So my first question was, sorry, are you the bill payer? Because you didn't want to waste any time. You didn't want you don't pay the bill.
My thing is qualifying straight away. So the first thing would be to build rapport. And the way I teach anyone to build rapport is to make sure it stays on line with the aim of the call. So you finding out, oh, you got a really nice Labrador. I really like dogs as well. That's not real rapport. Like, I'm not saying it's not going to make someone have some sort of liking towards you, because what it really is familiarity. Familiarity can later on lead to rapport.
Keep them warm.
But yeah, it can keep them warm. But real rapport that allows someone to turn around and say, I'm buying off of this guy, is when they respect you and they know that you can solve their problem. Now, the first way I would do that is to identify that they have a problem. So that would start with questioning.
Yeah, so that starts with our like intro and short story, because in the short story you highlight the problem. So our problem was by 2026 internet fiber is going to cut out. You're gonna need to switch soon. And then obviously our solving is, listen, we're handing out a gigabyte voucher to port you guys.
Which I agree with, but so see with me when it comes to face-to-face, I'm always gonna, like, I've had face-to-face clients. There's a lot of the way that most establishments train. This is like what the mission we're on. Most establishments train, and a lot of them are just thinking about the money. They don't care about the culture of sales as much as someone like myself would, and that's fine because their businesses work. So when you get into like real estate roles or roles like this, they usually give you generic sales training. That is fine, it is right, it can get you so far, but it's not gonna get you to be prolific in sales. It's gonna get you to get by and make a bit of money on that role, yeah? So going back to the point of the questioning stage, you've just asked a question. Let me even correct that. You haven't asked a question. You said, this is going to be the problem in XY 2026. We're going to get rid of fiber, yeah?
Copper cables.
But now what we're going to do is we're going to replace it. That's fine, but you know what's even better than that? Is getting them to realize that's a problem and getting them to verbalize that's a problem. Because telling's not selling. So I'll give you examples. If I come in here and I say to you guys, bro, it's so hot in here, yeah, that's fine. It's not really a problem to you lot though. Like, it's just hot. It's my own problem, right? But if I say, guys, I can't lie, like, all right, do me a favor. Like, walk from there to there and do that 5 times. How do you feel right now? You're hot. Imagine we sit in this for the next hour, and I'm not gonna lie, in this conversation, you might have to walk front and back 5 times. Are you all right with that, or do you think you're gonna be hot at some point?
Did you do charity?
Yeah, and I'm charity
That
as well.
sounds like charity. That sounds exactly like charity.
But that's not even, but I can't lie. Something to be clear on, and it's something that I've got a lot of content coming out about. A lot of the sales trainers, they position this like, this is for recruitment, this is for real estate, this is for charity. No, bro. If you master sales, it's for everything. So what I've just done there, I would use on everything. I wouldn't just use it on charity. The point is that I'm not telling you there's a problem. I'm selling you there's a problem. I'm making you verbalize and feel it for yourself. So when I've said things...
fiber, how would you do it?
So with fiber, my thing would be, so I don't know if you was aware, but in 2026, they're going to be changing to, was it copper cables?
Yeah, so that is obviously how we do it.
To copper cables. So was you aware of that, by the way?
Yeah, because obviously what we said is obviously, I don't know if you know, but we're changing, the UK is getting rid of the copper cables by 2020. Did you see the roadworks that were happening?
Okay.
And then they'll be like, no. I'll be like, great. So that was us putting in the new fiber network. Yeah. And obviously, I don't know if you know, you see it on the TV. So my thing was, I'd always dip in and out the pitch.
But
so
you know what I feel like you're not taught to do? Is you're not letting them speak on their pain. Like, you're just telling them this is pain. Like, did you know about that? Yeah, I saw the roadworks. Really bad, right? And then carrying on. Let them speak. Like salespeople, they start the call and all they want to do is just talk. Like, my thing is, okay, you've seen the roadworks outside your house. I have curiosity. How's that make you feel? Oh yeah, it is what it is. No, but I mean, it is what it is. But I'm not moving forward. We're here. How does this make you feel? This is the pain. Oh yeah, I mean, it's quite frustrating. But I mean, what does that really mean? I'm so happy you said, what does that really mean? Now I can present the problem because you've yourself spoke. So the main thing that I want to really knock home there is that telling's not selling. Best way for me to summarize it, like, telling's not selling. You telling someone that's a problem and this is the solution. Again, big disclaimer, it can work. But if you want to go to the next level,
get them
to speak on their pain. Yeah. Prime example, if you said to me, what's it like being in the UK? And I'm like, yeah, nice, all right, you know. And then you cracked on, yeah, I can't lie because the buyer, you ain't got no pain out of me. If you said, oh, what are you finding? Like, what's your journey like up here? Oh yeah, it took me 3 hours. Oh, that must be long. What's it like compared to the buyer? Oh mate, don't even get me started. Yeah. Now I'm in pain. Don't even get me started. What do you mean? Is it crazy different? Oh, bro, so in Dubai, we can get everywhere in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm in pain now. And if you turn around and be like, oh, that's crazy. Do you know what's actually mad? There's actually a city in this country that no one knows about, and it's really like Dubai. Now you've provided me with a problem to a solution to something I've said is a problem. You haven't come and told me it's a problem. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So a lot of the differences in how we train and how generics train is usually, and it's a golf analogy, it's usually a millimeter difference. but that makes a massive different outcome. That way of training, you will talk to people and get to end the calls and close deals. But the level that we train at and the skill level that I've acquired for the last 11 years, this is bro, this is out of this world, bro. Do you get what I mean? Like from a human psychological standpoint, I can probably tell you what most prospects are gonna say, thinking why they didn't buy, when they're gonna buy, the moment they thought they was gonna buy, where the real pain is. Like he'll tell you, this is what we do. Do you get what I mean?
So walk us through your like conversation, how you were structured.
I charge for that, you know.
I mean, you give us okay.
No, I'm
maybe
joking.
not so much what you obviously selling, but how would you do it if you're just having a generic conversation? If you come back to door,
first things first is obviously you always want to, within the first 10 seconds, you want to come across as a figure of authority, someone who can solve a problem, and someone who's sharp. As a knife, I usually say in my training, someone who's sharp. And the way you do that can be done in 10 seconds. That could be from, hey Kai, how you doing? Straight away, my tonality could tell you that this guy's such sharp, he's awake, he's alert, and he didn't sound nervous, so he might be a figure of authority, yeah?
Would you articulate yourself differently depending on the person who's in front of you? Because like, for example, I know for a fact if it was an old lady, I wouldn't.
Yeah, 100%. Tonality would change. Like if it's an old lady, I might be more like... Because I know how to talk to these kind of white people. And I went private school. I know what they talk like. Do you know what I mean? So going back to the point, first 10 seconds, as I said, sharp as a knife, figure of authority, and enthusiastic to some extent, yeah? Grab the attention. Then my first thing would be, obviously within that first 10, 15, 20 seconds, you want to establish who you are. Like why you're calling, who you are, what you're calling for. Cool. Then questions. Like, bro, I keep wanting to emphasize this because man, I got mad. Questioning will make your job 10 times easier, bro. 10 times easier. Imagine going over to a girl, for example, and you're like, what's going on? My name's Kai, I'm from Birmingham. I do a podcast. And she's like, I'm my ex from Birmingham, sorry. I don't want to talk to no one. You guess how you would have saved that if you'd asked questions first? If you didn't go straight in talking and you asked questions first, I'm not saying you could have avoided the fact you're from Birmingham, but you would have known what to play, what foot to play first, right? You would have known what was your strength. True. You didn't because you just started talking. So the main thing that I always say is the intro to that sales call, just listen, ask them questions, work out where their pain is. And that doesn't come from, what would you say your pressing problems are right now? Like they're just gonna answer generic at first. Oh, right now we want more income. Oh, brilliant. Like people think they've done their job there. What does more income look like to you? Oh, I mean, just an extra few quid a year would be good. Okay. What's an extra few quid? Could we put that into a monetary value? Oh, that would be, I don't know, if we could do £10,000, I think I'd be happy. £10,000, you'd be happy. What would make you really excited? Oh, I mean, £20,000 will blow my socks off. Okay, so £20,000 will blow their socks off. £10,000 happy. Now I've got more of an idea what I'm working. Okay, brilliant. And is there anything else that's important to you in the process before? Look, and just so you're aware, I'm going to tell you loads about me and what we do, but before I even get there, I just want to make sure we're a fit. Because you may tell me things right now that means we're not a fit. And just so you also know, we're not hungry for clients. So if you're not a fit, then no problem. We can part the call as friends. But if you are a fit, then perfect. At least I know enough to give you the right thing, right? What I don't want to do is offer you a Rolls Royce and you're looking for a BMW. Do you get what I mean? Like you're now at a stage where the person you're talking to, one, you've worked out if they're really a fit, because we shouldn't really be selling products if they're not a fit. Yeah, let's be honest. Secondly, they will start to uncover everything you need to sell in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, an hour. So going back to that conversation about the most important part, you can't master the close if you haven't answered the right question. Because you see, when you're trying to close that door, you don't know that you got to unlock it a bit to the left and then it slots in. You don't know that because you didn't answer questions earlier. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
So what would you say? Building what you just said?
Yeah, building rapport. I try and stay away from
building the rapport in the right way.
Building the correct rapport.
What's the right correct?
So the correct rapport is to make sure that the conversation you're having don't take you. So I got to give credit to Jordan Belfort for this. Like he's got a system called straight line selling. So within that, what they would say in that is don't come off the straight line. Like so, and in the CTC system, we have a very similar thing. Don't come off of the straight line. So if we're here to talk about their internet provider, why the hell are we sitting there talking 10 minutes about their dog? don't get me wrong. We can mention it for 5 seconds. Oh, I really like dogs. You two are brilliant. Bam.
Okay, so how would you? Because obviously one of the main things we say, obviously when we say is take control of the conversation.
Yeah.
So as you said,
Yeah.
straight all the way. But you know when you dip in and out, and you know sometimes you might go completely off.
Yeah. How do you bring them back on?
How do you bring it back? But it's not so much how do you bring it back on. It's like how do you make them not feel like they're being sold to that point? Because let's say they spoke to me about 3 minutes about their dog, this and that. At the end of that, they'll be like, anyway, what was he talking about? And then I could
So,
carry on straight
great
back
question.
to the point.
It's all
Instead of me just saying, anyway, let's go back to the point.
Great
Now,
question.
I was just talking to you about my...
Yeah, great question. Very good question. It's the transition. So it's the way you do it. So for example, me and him do this as banter. Like we live what we train. Like we sell each other all day, every day. So like he might say to me, like, I might go, oh yeah, I beg you, get that for me. And he might be, yeah, that's a bit mad, but I'll get it. Like, so you see that? That's a bit mad, but I'll get it. That transition, yeah, that's him saying like, he done me there, trying to lick on me, but I'll get it. That same transition is what you need on the phones or face to face, in the sense of, oh really? Like, okay, yeah, no, I'm into dogs as well. We've actually got one, me and my missus. How long have you had this one? Brilliant. Okay, all right, brilliant. So the reason why that's not awkward, bro. The tonality is not awkward. Like it's just that. Don't be fearful to go back to the point. That is why people build fake rapport, because they're scared. Because now you're talking about the dog, his grandson, the fact that like the neighbor's got the same issue. Do you get what I mean? All of these things that now, you see, the further you get away from it, the harder it is to bring it back onto the line.
You see what I would say when from actually just doing it and learning. I wouldn't be afraid of making it awkward for a few. You've got so many doors to knock. Like the way I figure out how to get everything with how kind of aggressive to passive you have to be. When you start out, you're just going to be super passive. You're going to be scared to dodge the rapport. So what I would do is I'd go super extreme, and the next day I'd go super extreme. So when someone's talking about their dog, I would then just go straight awkwardly back to the question. Then I figure out, okay, that doesn't really work. So let me tone it down a little bit more. Let me do, okay, yeah, no, I have a dog too. Actually, and then, okay, that didn't work. That was a bit too, like, I would just change it. Instead of like being really afraid, I feel like the biggest problem when people start out is they want the sale too bad. I think you should just want to get good at sales first. And the way that you get sales is by trying different things. So like when I first came up, ideally you were meant to try and close on the call. But I used to be kind of scared to close on the call.
Oh, why is that?
Say that again?
Why is that?
Just after you get off the call, someone's just going to get less and less warm. So they could be sold on the call. They could be intending to buy on the call. They get off. Their mum calls them. They talk to their mum. They then talk to their partner. They're like, and now you're not talking to them anymore. They're just going to get colder, and they're probably not going to buy something that would have helped them and that they actually wanted at the time. But now they've been distracted by 101 things. Now another bill came out. Now this happened, that, and they haven't paid. So you were meant to close on the call, right? Now, I was kind of scared to do that, which is quite an easy
common,
thing to say.
very
It's hard
common
to ask for money, right? On the phone and get someone to pay. It's awkward. So got to one day where I was like, cool, what I'm going to do is you either have to pay on the call or you have to say at flat right no. So then the first day of doing it was really awkward, and people were saying no because I was saying to them, okay, cool, you have to pay now. And then they were saying they didn't, I'll think about it. I'll say no. And I'll just go super aggressive. I probably on the first day even said to you, you have to pay now.
What, you negged them out?
People didn't like that. Yeah, I negged them out. But do you know what worked? Someone else that might have done it might have not done that, and they might have closed one deal out of 10 in that day. Then the next day they're going to close 1 out of 10. Now what I did is I closed 0, and the next day I closed 0. But then 2 weeks later I closed 6 out of 10. So now I win because I wanted to get good at sales whilst you wanted to get that deal today. I don't care about the deal today, bro. I care about the deal tomorrow, next year, moving forward, and actually getting good. And I think the best way to get good is, like I said, not by just doing the reps, but it's by actually consciously making the changes. So instead of like taking down all the notes and thinking about them, I would just go one day, look, today I'm going to not let people take me off of track, and I'm not going to build rapport for more than a minute. I'm just going to, if someone gets to a minute, I'm going to switch. Then I realize, okay, cool, that doesn't work. But now I've got closer. One, I've got braver because I've realized sometimes as well, what you realize is you can bad people up more than you think.
Yeah,
so you'll be on a call.
Yeah, I agree with that. So
Yeah,
a lot of these people you speak to, they're all employees, so they're all used to being told what to do. So we noticed that if I tell you like, oh, you don't have your phone, you go get your phone quickly. I'll wait outside.
So do you know what's so
That's
funny
always
about
a
that?
thing,
Yeah,
that's something that works with us.
and I'm gonna call him out as well. Jeremy Miner put a video up 2-3 weeks ago, and he basically said that don't tell people what to do. I can't remember how he worded it, but basically people don't like being told what to do. And I was like, cut the fucking crap.
I feel like it works more to tell people what to do.
And what you just said is exactly what I say, which is we are programmed from a very young age to be told what to do from kids. That's what we're actually used to. The reason why most people get lost in life is usually when they're no longer being told what to do by their parents and teachers. And now it's like, it's all on me and it's daunting. Come out of uni, oh my God, life's real. So that's why we got to cut the crap, because some of these sales trainers are misleading people. Do you get what I mean? But one last thing as well to help you back on the, getting back onto the point is, once you've mentioned something, kind of like what I just did there, once you've mentioned something, if it's about a dog, cat, this, that, and the other, try and find a way that it connects with the actual meaning of the call. So, for example, if back then when we were selling investments, if you mention, I don't know, if the client mentioned their dog, and then we speak about the dog, and then what I might do, because I know we're going off, I might be like, oh, what's the maintenance cost right now on dogs? And then they'll be like, oh no, it's all right. I'll be like, oh, you know, with the economy, I thought it might have been up and down. But look, anyway, the reason for the call...
Yes, they do.
Now,
we do try and blend
so now, do you know what I mean? So now it makes sense. It marries up with where we was going.
So,
do you know what I mean?
So just based on what you guys are saying, just based on talking about report, you're saying be direct, quick with the report, and don't waste time with the report. So as I say, speaking on our experience, I would say there comes to a point when we first started, we was like, listen, you're waffling, but you know, to be kind, to be patient.
Yeah,
You let them talk because you still...
Were those people buying when that happened?
Usually the white folks buy. I can't lie.
No.
No, that was just a genuine question.
Were they buying while waffling? They were buying and waffling.
It was more so, I still remember that lady where she had something going on in the back. Someone's in the kitchen and like, she didn't buy because she needed. She just bought from me because I was listening to her talk about her stories. Like, I didn't care, but it was like, oh, swear, really, this happened. Oh, you sold your... I felt
Don't get me wrong. Like I say, I'm going to keep making disclaimers. That can work. I've had clients, I've sat and listened to you for an hour, and then you've bought almost out of guilt or almost out of the fact I've been here for comfort. I try to avoid sweeping statements. I think them sales trainers, they give sweeping statements. Every call is different because every human's different. But when I'm saying generically, you want to keep it on the line, because you will find a lot of people, more so especially when you're on cold calling, I would say, that will sit and talk to you, especially if you've got personal brands and stuff. And they ain't here to buy, bro. Yeah,
here to talk.
They're just here to talk. Do you get what I mean? And you've got to know the difference between that, because time is money and you'll waste a lot of it.
So, Cam, going back to what you were saying, so obviously you mentioned building rapport, and you said you consciously was making decisions to improve, and obviously we agree with that. That's something we do. How can we improve on every door? So for yourself, which part do you think was more important, the rapport or the close?
The start of the call, the same. The close is, like Trist said, the close is easy. Like it not easy, but it should be relatively frictionless if you've done the first part right. It's like I'm selling you a solution, and if you believe in the solution, then you know it comes at a cost, and then it should go smoothly. It doesn't always, and obviously that's a lot of theory and whatnot. But if you do the first part of your call right, if you do the first 55 minutes right, the last 5 minutes shouldn't actually be that difficult.
So what was you doing wrong when you wasn't getting those closes?
What, early doors? What was I doing wrong?
I would say that. Like,
So we were the first part of the call.
Listening to every part of it, like certain things will go over your head, innit? Like they might have said, and it's like, if you heard that, could have went, like, look at that call we filmed. Do you get what I'm saying? Like actively hearing what that meant.
Yeah, mainly I would say listening. Listening is the main thing.
Actively listening?
Actively listening, because I was asking the questions. One thing, I was asking the question, but people would say things and there'd be nuances that I wouldn't actually notice. And it's interesting. I was saying something to Trist. I was saying if you're talking to a girl, or you're talking to your missus, and you say something, you pick up on every small thing that they say. So it's like, do you want to go out for dinner here tonight? And they go, yep. Now on a sales call at the time, I would have just taken, if a prospect said a yep like that, I would have just taken it as, oh, they're agreeing. All right, cool. But you know, in your day-to-day life, that doesn't mean they agree. That means they're jarred. Like, they said yeah, but they're not actually happy, so they're not gonna close. Like by the time you get to the restaurant, they're saying, actually no, let's go back to. So that's the same thing with the close. My main problem is that the nuances I wasn't picking up on, and the way I just picked up on them was just by getting on the phone more. Literally, that was the way. And obviously Trist grilling me in between calls. But listening to the nuances, I feel like I was proficient. But what was holding me back from being good or excellent was actually listening to just the small things. It was like I would listen to the words, but how they said it and the small things they would say, I wasn't paying so much attention to.
Okay, so active listening and obviously building rapport. That's the massive take. So obviously,
Yeah.
Trist, one thing I would say, obviously, which you speak about, and obviously one thing which helps me in order to get my sales is obviously taking control of the situation. Now, I would say the one massive thing which really helps me take control of situations is body language. It's because like when I start, I knock on the door, I'm sideways, you can see past me, you know nothing's going on. However, when it comes to the close, I'm direct and done. What skills would you say that help you always close? Would you say it's tonality? Or would you say it's obviously going back to...
I can't lie. Sometimes in this, you're going to probably think I'm repetitive because it is the questioning and the listening.
So like, questioning and listening.
Yeah, I'll elaborate on that further. So like, see, even just now, I think one of you just said the close at the end should be easy, yeah? And then I just thought, people are going to watch that and think, no, but I don't find the close easy. And the reason they don't find the close easy,
it has to be swift,
generally speaking, is because, you know what I've realized most people do? They put all the emphasis on the close. So all their bullets come when and it's so obvious they're going into the close because they're like, right, so, and then now you're now selling me. You've done all this fake listening, you've done all this fake rapport, you've now made it clear you're now about to sell me. Because you think, what most people think, should I say, that this is the time now's the close. The close shouldn't feel like that. Like the close, and I will give so in my training, I often refer to males and females. I've done this for years. Because it's always something that resonates. So imagine you're speaking to a girl, like the close shouldn't, like you're not gonna be like, shall we kiss now? Like, do you get what I'm saying? You're not gonna be like, shall we go to mine now? Like, it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be natural flow. You might have went over, you had a drink. Oh, what's your name? Oh, okay, cool. There might be a bit of awkward silence. Then you might flow. You might exchange numbers. Oh, what are you doing after here? Oh, okay, no problem. I'm going here, by the way, if you wanna come. Like, what are you doing after? Oh yeah, I'll come. That was a close. But it didn't feel like some, do you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, I'm about to close. Like, I'm gonna close. Like, so I think where a lot of people go wrong is they think that and I think the ABC thing has gone a bit out of control.
What's that, always be closing?
Yeah, and a lot of people, and this is something that I want to really put out there for people new to sales. It's great to enter sales with a fresh energy, yeah. Like, and I can see it even in you, and it's amazing. I love it because I resonate with it, yeah. Wide-eyed, excited, like, oh my God. Especially the more skills you learn as well, your mind's gonna be blown. Especially if you love the process. But sometimes, and it's fine because you got a fool to learn this, yeah. Sometimes you can be too energetic. And what I mean by that is that people can feel that from you, whereas you see my style of selling is very comfortable and casual. Like, it's like, you won't even know you're being sold, bro. Like, you won't even realize you just bought. Bro, sometimes like, I can close a deal and it's just almost like, I gotta be careful how I word this because like, it's almost like someone will just turn around and feel like, raw. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like raw, like I actually did come here just to find that info, but I just paid. Like, do you get what I'm saying? But at the same time, what they also leave with, because it's very important to have emotional and logical cases both at tens, is they all leave with thinking, I need that though. I need that thing. Like, yeah, looking forward to it. And then now the next thing is obviously service delivery. Do you get what I mean? So that for me is your clothes should just be smooth, man. It should be seamless. So going back to your point about like, what I say is the most important part, question and listening. Because everyone's got a different personality trait, yeah? I don't understand you two unless I sit and ask you lot questions. True. I can sit and talk to you lot for 2 hours, 3 hours, but I just spoke about me. What do I know about you? Like, what makes you lot tick? Why did you lot get in sales? Like, what makes you lot want to start the podcast? Like, do you know what I mean? When we had a one-to-one call, I think you had already started a pod. I remember it very well as well. You asked me something, I can't remember what, and I just ended up asking you loads of things. I was saying, but why do you want to do that though? I think you were talking about maybe doing a platform or personal brand. You know when you used to debating that? Yeah. I said, but why do you want to do that? What's the why? Okay, okay. And why do you want to do that one? Okay. And then I was asking you more, and I was asking you more, and then I'm like, well, this is what I think. Just like a doctor. When you go to a doctor just goes, okay, so how's your hearing? Okay. Eyesight? Okay. How's your health? Breathing? Okay. This is what the solution is. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. That's the style of selling that we teach. I'm not saying there's only one style, but that is a style that makes you millions of pounds.
So how much do you focus on your consolidation? Like, how do you make them feel good after the sale? Like, cool, they've paid,
Great
but they might leave that call.
His consolidation.
Great question.
They might leave that call, yeah, and they're like, what the fuck, I just paid.
What, is yours bad or good?
It varies, bro. It varies, bro. 1 week, there's none. Next, bro.
The cancellation. A man came out with 50 sales. How much cancelled?
Bro, there was like 6 cancellations. Next week, there's none. Next week, there's
no cancellation.
Do you know what I would say though? I feel like that means that I would think that you're good at closing, but you ain't done the first
But
part.
think about it. You did
Yeah.
get,
Yeah.
you did
So-
get told. You can be a bit pushy.
Yeah, that's
So
what
listen,
I mean.
so you see what he
That's
just
I mean.
said, yeah?
Yes,
See what Cam just
Remember,
said?
he told me he had a few complaints about you when you was closing.
This is why the first part, a point that I've missed, and I'm glad Cam just said it. The first part is important for everything I've said so far, but there's things that happen in the latter part that you don't know why they're happening. So I'll give you a prime example. You've been with a girl 6 months, yeah? Every time you put on, I don't know, Top Boy, she gets moany. You don't know why though. Like she just gets iffy and off, but you have not got a clue why. Yeah. Whereas me, I would know why. Because I would have asked certain questions at the beginning to know, oh yeah, I remember you said that your boyfriend was involved in the directors of Top Boy. It's like, fuck, why am I playing this? Like, it's a bit triggering. It reminds you of your ex. So you see what happens at the end of that is because you didn't ask questions at the beginning. So now we're at a stage where, yeah, they've paid, but there's so many. So I just touched on it briefly. So we teach 3 10s, yeah? So they should love you, your company, product, service, yeah? And this is all within the academy, by the way. Yeah, it's all within the academy, by the way.
No, you know what? Don't worry. We got the recording. We got the
It's all within
recording.
the academy. So so when you're selling someone, it should be, because people, they will buy off of emotion and they justify off of logic. So right now,
Sound like psychology and money in a way.
say again?
I like sound like psychology and money. It wasn't.
That's in psychology.
People buy what makes sense to them. At the
Yeah,
time.
like a lot of my sales training is like psychology. It's psychology. It's psychologically based. You know what I mean? It looks at how humans think. So someone would buy off of emotion. Oh my god, yeah, sick. Sign me up. And afterwards, they justify with logic. Now the problem with what you're doing is you didn't give them any logic, but you got them emotionally though, which means there's something that's good there. But now you've got to add that part afterwards, which is the logic. And I started like that, by the way.
So how do you mean then? Because obviously that sounds to me like he's built of the impulse, like he's got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
gas and everything.
Yeah.
How would he keep it after that then?
Oh, as in how to fix that?
Yeah. How does he
The
keep
logic.
them? How would he do the logic?
So again, if you ask certain questions, there may be pressing points within that person. So you want to uncover why they buy, how they buy, what pushes them to buy. So for example, think about your successful client and what you've done. Yeah, someone who's bought. What made them buy?
I would say it's more
Price.
me as in asking the question, and then obviously when I'm saying to you, listen, this is just one thing I notice which works for me is honestly being genuine. Like, listen, yo, what you've got ain't good.
That's not what made them buy.
Well,
That's what
you
you've
didn't
told them. That's not what made them buy.
I would say it's obviously me, and then obviously after that, when you build like a friendship between them. We're like, listen, what you got's not good here. I can give
Yeah,
you
but
this
it's
and that
not.
and
Don't
that.
get me wrong. That's a part of it.
Yeah.
But so for example, you see, for me to buy, for me to act on something, one of the things that makes me act on something could be FOMO. So I could act. because I feel
Okay.
I'm
I would
missing
say
out,
just
yeah?
building up the greed. I'm telling them you're getting
Okay,
this, you're
okay.
getting that, you're gonna get
There we
this.
go.
And then one thing they're like, I don't know. So obviously what we do, sure you heard of Fuji. So we are like fear of loss, building.
Oh,
up
yeah,
the-
yeah, of course,
all the
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
obviously, my thing would be like, if the greed ain't gonna get you,
Yeah.
the fear of loss is
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
get
yeah,
you,
yeah,
and if
100%.
that ain't gonna get you,
Yeah.
the Jones effect is gonna get
Yes.
you. Yo, you know, mine
Very
down
good.
the road's also got it installed as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, good.
That's
100%.
obviously my thing is like.
So what you've just said, spot on. I don't think you're doing that though. In the sense of knowing why they're buying. So for example, if you've sold someone on the excitement thing and then they're bought, there's something within their logic that doesn't make sense. The only reason that they would start being spooked is something you said didn't resonate with the way they used to buy it. So that could be that their logic, again, this is where it gets a bit deeper. So, because what you just said is spot on, but it's still very surfacey. If you dig deeper, people have buying patterns, right? Which is, those are the cause of them, but generally speaking, the way for you to uncover people's buying patterns is to speak about what they've bought before. So when you start to understand what someone's bought before, you know why they buy. Now, someone might buy now off of something. So for example, if I buy off of impulse, I am quite an impulse buyer. So I won't regret that. But if Cam isn't an impulse buyer and you get him right now, which you could do, he will regret that. Does that make sense? So you want to, the type of person you're selling to, you want to know that you're selling to the type of person in the way that they're used to buying. If you sold to them in a way they're not used to buying, they will get regret. That could be that you've sold them over the phone and they didn't get an invoice first. So then this example, so then they've paid and then now they're thinking, wait a sec, I didn't get an invoice. Because that's part of their pattern. That could be the fact that they like to check with their husband first and they've paid you, but now they're thinking, fuck, didn't check with my husband. Or they don't like to, could be anything. It could be anything. Could be you were young, it could be whatever. In the moment, amazing, you got them to buy. But afterwards now they're sitting thinking, wait a sec, this ain't my normal, like this, something ain't right here. So your job is to make sure that something is right. And the only way you do that is by uncovering how do they buy, what is it that makes them buy, what makes them tick.
Okay, so Cam, how would you do the consolidation then to find out what makes them tick and what makes them buy?
No, that's the thing. I think it's done before the consolidation.
Way
before. Way
That's
before.
not-
Way
so that's
before.
all
Back to
the
the
thing
question
that
and
I said.
everything.
Yeah,
Way
the
before.
thing that I said is the consolidation probably isn't the problem. The problem is that you're being pushy on the close prior to actually asking the right questions. That's what's gonna make someone
You know
back
what's
out.
funny? I found out the reason why some of them cancelled. Some of them, this is my fault. They were still in contract, so obviously they've bought and they're like, yeah, this is great. They've gone to cancel with their provider. They've gone, yo, you're still in contract till da 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 da.
Okay.
So wait, so is it? Do you tell them? Because I tell them delay it. So after 2 weeks, I still can say, nah, they already know.
Nah, I tell them that. But obviously, when they found out they're in contract till 2025, bro, they're like, why am I gonna delay this? Like, it makes no sense. And so they cancel. Then there's other people that just got a better deal.
So do
from
you know
a
what your
different
problem
provider.
is in that scenario? It's just that you're selling to the wrong people.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're just
That's
saying-
why I was like, it's my
And
fault.
we
I'm
all
asking
can.
well, I didn't ask the question. Like,
We all can. If you're good at, but I can't lie though. It says a lot about you though, in the sense of the fact that they're buying against kind of their logic. Not saying that's good, big disclaimer. But the fact that they did buy against their logic, if you now improve the other back end of your skills, you are gone. Because that's a very good trait to have.
I also don't think consolidating would help that either.
Yeah, I think you lot have got this idea that there's something you do afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, no.
what? There's nothing you do after.
No, you
there
can,
is,
you
there
can, but you
is,
shouldn't
there
have
is.
to.
So would you? Because even
We
then
call that putting out a fire. That's putting out a
even
fire.
even after I got the sale, you know, like you said, even though you sort of had doubt with the doubts and everything like that, my thing still is I just try and make it make even more sense to you
Yeah,
once
good.
it's already been done. So,
Yeah.
It's like
I'm big
what,
on
so
that.
you got the baby now, you just
Yeah. That's very
Yeah.
important. That's very key.
Yeah.
Once they've bought, it's very key because certain man I know, before I was working with them, they used to get
calls
certain man,
ended. Calls ended.
just certain man, the calls just ended.
Yeah, calls
yeah.
ended.
Oh, straight, brilliant. Okay, take care. Bye.
No.
No, I'm just certain man. I just say certain man I know. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So-
certain man I know. Allegedly. Yeah.
Alright, Cam. So one thing I remember seeing on was it Instagram or anything? I think it was Instagram, where he was talking about, I used to be whack at selling. Put me on any call now, I'm closing. Is that true?
I don't think I said that.
I started to say,
I saw that on the gram. 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 You said you could close pretty much 90% of people.
That's a different statement, by the way.
That's still the same thing.
And,
That was my game.
and I still think that's cap.
You still think that's cap?
Yeah. I don't think I
Okay.
said that.
You still think?
I'm doing the thing for politeness. If I wasn't being recorded, I would go on a big limb and say I did not say that. But I'm saying I don't think I said
You don't
that.
think you record?
No, because I just don't think that's true. Do you know why? Especially with what we do,
you like this, it's hot in here.
90% close rate just isn't actually realistic. Like, it's actually just not realistic. That half the people you talk to might not even be qualified, might not even have the money. That's already half the people done. Like 90%, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
So let me guess. Obviously, I saw like when you watch the remote sales calls, you see them on TikTok. There's a few guys I don't know their names, but obviously they always start with the qualifying questions. Like, listen, if you ain't got the P's, if you need something fit you, is that how you guys start your calls?
They're corny, man. A lot of them
they're
people.
corny.
Like,
I saw you react to one both together.
we reacted
recently.
to a few, to
Yeah,
be
and
fair.
to be fair,
They were
are
alright.
corny, but the people that we watched were actually alright.
Yeah,
We
those
actually
ones
quite-
were
we
alright.
actually
Well, they
stood
weren't
by
pitching
them.
though. They were just talking about
Yeah,
the
they were just
industry.
explaining it.
The
Yeah,
pitching ones, you know, I
I
don't feel it, man.
Yeah, no, Trist don't rate. What is that? What we do? What do you say? Is that what we do at the start of our calls?
Yeah, I'm
straight
saying, how
qualified.
would you do?
Yeah, we
'cause
qualify. A
obviously-
lot of the qualification now is also before we get on the call,
Yeah,
because
big
now
fact.
we've got a personal brand. So there's a few things that we do that are a bit different. So first thing is, now we've got a personal brand. We actually ask people questions because there are going to be people, like Tris mentioned earlier, who are just gonna jump on the call. Yeah, they're just gonna jump on the call just because they want to have a chat. Like literally, they just want to have a chat. They've seen us at some event. They just want to talk to us. So we ask questions before that. Another thing that we do, and it's kind of unique, and it's something that a good business that you work for have, is they'll have a lot of pre-sales. So like you'll be qualified from our landing page. You'll be qualified from watching the video. If you watch the video,
Oh, yeah, I know
I
what
will
you're
tell you
talking about.
explicitly, this is for you. If you are this person, it is for you. Which also subconsciously means if you're not that person, it's not for you. So the qualification at the start, yes, we do it, but I don't have to get on the call and go crazy qualifying, because I know the fact that you're talking to me means you are qualified. If you're talking to someone else on our team, then you're probably not qualified. But so yeah, we do qualification, but it's not very rarely will I jump on a Zoom call with someone that isn't qualified. I probably will double check. I'll say, just to confirm on your form, it says you can afford 3K. Is that still the case? I might say something like that, but I don't have to go out on a limb and say, oh, so do you have the capital to... Like, we kind of know the fact that you're talking to me, you're qualified.
Remember, a lot of those people online, and credit to them as well.
Cold leads or anything like that, where they just say, yo, I want to jump on a call with you guys.
Yeah,
I love a cold lead. I love a cold lead. But I think at times...
Even with the cold leads then, I'm guessing you guys still have to qualify questions.
Yeah, that's the thing, you can't get to the call.
Your man was saying, listen, oh, so you would never
you can't just call my phone. Like, you can't, like, my phone.
I thought, imagine a kid being like, yo, I really want to jump on this, can we set up a call? And you're like,
yeah, you can, I'll send you the link. Like, I'll send you the link, but if you don't...
the questions.
Yeah, but if you don't qualify, then the thing is, sometimes, if you're just cool and I can get a sense, like, if you're some people that are younger people that are kind of cool, I'll get on. If you're just a leech, like, it's weird. There's a vibe that I can get where you're a leech, and there's also a vibe that I can get where you're young and you're enthusiastic. You might get me one day on a call where I know you can't afford it, I know you're not going to buy, but I'll just sit and have a chat with you. But if I feel like you're just got some kind of leechy vibe, then I won't get on a call. But yeah, there's no way to get on a call with me if you're unqualified, like unless I'm just feeling nice.
Unless you're feeling
Yeah.
Sharpen the sword.
Yeah, 100%.
So, where would you start in sales? Would you start direct marketing? Are you talking telesales, straight remote? What is it?
I'd start anywhere.
Anywhere.
Like, my thing is, just start. Like, don't, bro. So my sales journey, was a result of me leaving the nest at a very early age, going through job boards online and trying to find roles that didn't require a degree. Yeah, I applied for all of them. I didn't know what I was selling. I just knew that there's my main things was there was earning potential that was uncapped, and the starting rate for someone at my expertise was like 22K a year, which at the time I thought, oh my God, that's amazing. The reason I say start anywhere is because you'll find that most of the, like, aside of me, which I very rarely say, like, I also know like a long list of sales masters, like very good salespeople, like colleagues of mine coming up or whatever, other people that train all over the world. And what you'll find, the common trait with everyone I know that's very good at sales is they came up very imperfect. There wasn't I did recruitment and then I pivoted into, like, our thing. The reason why we're so good is because we came up in the trenches. So it was just trial and error. The reason why I want to avoid saying to someone, start here, I will still give a tip, but the reason why I want to avoid having like a do this, then this, then this, then this, because if you get into sales with that outlook, you're already done. Sales is about being able to pivot at any second, any minute, anything. Could be middle of the phone call, could be middle of the year, middle of your bonus, middle of your commission, anything. So just start, bro. And like I said, I started in a cold calling center. That was shit. Fuck that off. Then I went and did advertising sales. That was shit. Actually, I got sacked. I ended up getting sacked. I didn't hit the target. Got sacked from there. Yeah, got sacked from there. Then I ended up in another recruitment role with a massive company, Haymarket, that huge. Everyone was like, oh my God, this is so good, amazing. Didn't feel it. Well, did feel it actually. Then my boy called me like, bro, high ticket sales, I'm about to buy Aston Martin. I was like, all right, man. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, if anyone wants a tip of where to start, nowadays, not to be like cheesy, but I would start with remote closing and appointment setting.
We were speaking about this because he was like to me.
I'd be an appointment setter.
I wouldn't start as a closer.
See, because we have this conversation. My thing was, I feel like if you could master direct marketing, being able to knock on someone's door and leave with that bank details, you can do any other sales. Because think about it, when we was like telesales and direct marketing, we was like, you probably still banging out the calls, you put in the reps, but we're saying when it comes to direct marketing, it's the whole thing, like, so it's funny enough
because if man them knocked on my door, I would be shook. I just had to.
You know what?
Just been thinking about that.
I feel like some people are.
I don't even like when a Deliveroo man can talk
I'll
slang.
be shook.
I'll be honest.
See, thing is though, I noticed though,
I
need to see
talk slang.
that don't happen in Dubai. That don't happen. That happened the other day. The guy comes like, oh, what's your number?
Anything but a shirt and tie, and I'm not picking up the door to you.
Funny thing is though, I noticed this when I started to get more sales. You know when you do like a daily breakdown, what went well and everything. I noticed every time I wore that high vis with the company logo on, they looked at me like, oh, it's the Swish man again. There you go. Then they know exactly.
yeah.
I need a lanyard.
Do you know-
and
do you
a
know
high
why-
vis.
That's what you got
Yeah,
the ID
I need a
badge.
lanyard.
Do you know why that is? Like, if you break that down, why do you think that is?
Authority.
Figure
of
they're not-
authority.
people
But think
are
about it.
stupid.
I like to think is that the gas man effect.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if a doctor speaks
People are
about this,
stupid.
he diagnoses you. You're gonna believe him
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he's there.
That's
When
why
they see-
Jeremy
when they
Miner's
see the
always
jacket,
man.
it's like, yo, they know exactly.
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm here for.
100%. People are
100%.
silly. People are
But I
silly.
remember one time I did
They're
knock on
convinced
with
by
like just a black shirt. People look at me like, who are you? Where are you from? And
Yeah.
then it was just
That-
like,
that's why
in
I
the
think
area.
sales is so
And you know
funny,
how
though.
bizarre tattoos are looking
Yeah,
black boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what makes you find sales funny though. It's like people don't trust you because of what you're wearing, but you wear the high vis, now they do. Like that's how I know that the mind is so fragile.
100%.
Like it's so fragile because but I think you got to play into that, which obviously
Yeah.
you're doing if you're wearing the high vis. It's like the mind gets persuaded by things so easy. It's like in marketing, if you notice, there'll be a lot of different ads. Any advert that's about like skincare, something like that, they're gonna put someone in a lab coat. Subconsciously, you just take
They
that
always
person
do.
in.
Yeah.
You're in a lab coat. You know what's best for my skin. but the thing is, I can't act all high and mighty because we're all victims to marketing. As
Yeah,
smart
all of
as we like to be,
Yeah.
and even though I know it, these things go over my head. And there's probably that's obviously an obvious one. There's other tricks that will just go over your head. But that's what I think the beauty of sales is. It's like these things that seem trivial and I'll laugh at them. If someone knocked on my door with a lanyard and a high
I'm
vis,
thinking it's Jakes.
I'm still not picking up. But I'm thinking, who
my
is
thing
my
was-
man?
See, my thing was
still not picking
icebreakers.
up.
I have to come up with the sickest of icebreakers.
I'm a big icebreaker, man.
So same.
I'm
so
a big
what, that's
Give me
what I was
some,
saying.
give me
So-
some, give me
so
some.
my first icebreaker was, don't worry, I'm not as bad as I look. And I
Yeah,
put like a
yeah,
little
yeah,
laugh. Matter of fact, I'm an ID badge. I've got hair in it. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, had a bit more hair in this photo here. And then they're like, oh,
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I like
icebreaker's
that.
good.
That's
Very
cool.
good.
Or even
You
like,
get me on that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't pick up the door, but you get me with that. though.
Exactly.
If I did,
Yeah.
man said it wouldn't.
Yeah, so even then, I used one on last week Friday where I was like, yo, I'm gonna just put. So obviously we have a thing. I'm sure we're doing it as well. We were like, we're gonna knock on this person's door. We're gonna try this. To
Oh,
see
yeah,
if
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
Yeah,
big.
yeah,
That,
yeah,
that-
yeah.
You see that? That's what I come up on.
That's
Like
cool.
that, especially where some of the advantage I had is I had my friends as well. So I was next to my best friend like on the sales floor for years, and we do the same thing. Like, I'm gonna try this. We'd even say things like, let's try and fit the word giraffe in your pitch and see if the client notices. and that would only be, so people would say, what's the reason for that? That was for two things. It's a bit of a pattern interrupt. It just breaks up your day because it could be mundane. But secondly, you see, when you've done that 5 times and no one realizes, then you start to realize, wait a sec, humans are only listening to a certain percent of what you're saying. So it's very important that, number one, you use your words wisely because they're only hearing 20, 30, whatever percent of what you're saying. And secondly, how you say things. Because the reason I can get away with saying draft, I say draft like that and carry on, because my tonality didn't go weird, but the word was. So if I was like, yeah, no, I totally get you, giraffe. You're gonna
Then
be
you're
like,
like,
my
giraffe? Why am
man's
I
buzzing.
saying
If I'm like, yeah, no, I totally get you, giraffe. So what I think is, do you get what I mean? So that is a blessing
But
that you love.
even then, I think that lady, even she was like, oh, you should jump on Love Island. Or she even said at the end, like, yo,
Don't lie, you wanted to get that in for this. Don't lie. You've been saving that. She didn't even say that.
No, she did. No, she did. She did. She did.
Listen, listen.
No,
She did.
She was like,
But anyway,
even
That's my game. That's my game.
That was my game.
If I
That's my
needed
game.
it, I would have bought it. You get me? But even then,
That's
so
my game.
Our thing was like, because especially like as you said, when you're knocking so many doors, it can get boring. You're like, yo, let's switch it up, have
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
So I feel
fact.
like sales is for myself. It's way more better when you're just having fun. Like
Million
you got that
percent.
sale, bam.
Million
Dinner's on
percent.
me today, boys, or the next one.
Yeah.
So-
Sales meant to be fun, man. 100%.
Yeah.
But even go back to what I was saying. So massive off track. Direct marketing. So
Yeah.
I always said, I've met so many people who obviously do it, and you just see that because in the office we're quiet. The minute you get on doors, you're thinking, I've never recognized this person. Like the energy, the excitement, the strong eye contact, it holds it through the whole conversation. It's sick. So that's what I always say, direct marketing, because eventually, think about it, you have more freedom to play around with.
Yeah, direct marketing's good. The face-to-face aspect is trenchy, so I would advise it early. I think you just want to get as trenchy as possible when you first
I
start.
think direct has to be the trend.
It is. No, it is. It is.
If
Have
it
you
helps
ever-
with remote, like let's
Yeah.
say,
Have you ever pitched in the rain?
Yeah, my thing is, I pitched in the rain.
Pitched in the rain.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and love
When
time.
your shoes are wet and you're at the
Yeah,
door with
yeah,
the
yeah.
umbrella.
Trust me,
there ain't
bro.
nothing to
You
say,
ain't
though.
you ain't come
Socks
across
are
doors with dogs, and you got to figure out how to get around the scenario. And then if you go through the back gate, someone's in the back, and you can get their attention at the front. Bro, I've done all of that. I used to do it in Southeast London in my area, so I'm going to doors that I even know certain people and stuff like that. And you're right, like, it definitely is. And going back to what you just said, good for remote. I wanna I want to nip this in the bud, yeah, because this is what they do to sell you, bro. It's good for everything. Like sales is just sales. We've got to stop segregating. Like, oh, is this course good? Like people say to us, like, is this good if you're in real estate? Is this good if you do face to face? Bro, we're selling, bro. Like, it's just sales. Like, that's it. Like, don't get me wrong. Cool. If it's more niche down, then you're gonna get a few specific benefits. Like in our sales academy, it's for remote. So there's a few modules where Cam's talking about getting into remote and preparing for a call and like how to set up your Zoom and stuff like that. Of course, but the foundations don't change. I really want to be clear on that. They don't change, bro. And if you think that they do, you're actually gonna end up fucking yourself.
So can we get one thing, Cam, that you guys actually teach in this boot camp, which you say is one of the pivotal points to get?
Man said one thing after he just got bare things.
Nah, one thing.
Broski, that's outrageous.
With
With those notes over there, that's outrageous. With those notes down there, that's outrageous to say.
That's cold.
That's
That's
the
good.
sales training.
That's good. That was good.
No, what you say? I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the link up, and they can see all 20 things that they get. That's what we're gonna do at this
What,
point.
they get 20 things?
There's over 20
No, there's
modules.
over 20 modules, to be fair.
In fact, walk us through the camp.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah. So, Cut the Crap Sales Academy, the CTC system is a system that has been tried and tested, proven for the last 12 years. Yeah, it wasn't called that, but the same system that helped me make millions of pounds, helped people I've trained make millions of pounds, is the same system we now teach. I just want to be clear on that. So we're not giving away half of the game and keeping the rest. Like in there, it's so crazy that me and him are filmed going through building a script. Forget about it. No other sales academy and courses doing that. For an hour and a half, we're sitting there and we're literally going through. You're gonna show them.
No, I want to find every. I'm gonna tell them every single thing now.
Are you happy
Get
to
the
share like, the
list.
modules? Like, what?
Yeah. We'll give you that. You
I'm
can put it
trying
on the
to-
screen as well. So
try and
imagine
read
that.
it.
So we're sitting there going through building a script. So you're not, remember, most salespeople, they're just given a script.
So you're gonna tell us like why you
Why
put
we
this
said,
there,
okay.
like why that's
exactly.
there,
how to say it.
And that's what we're
Okay.
doing on camera. It's already, this is all done.
Because
it's all out now.
when you were saying, going back to qualified question earlier, it had me thinking, I'm going to start scripting my thing differently now.
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to do, because I've had this target, whenever like you have women on the door, my thing is, yo, if you're not the bill payer, I don't need to waste time. And obviously, I kind of noticed I didn't do that for every single
I'm going to
door.
say something controversial, yeah. Old school, we used to say, old school, don't no one kill me. We said never pitch the bitch. Old school.
See, that's like this is gonna sound bad. You needed to say this is gonna. You didn't say it. You needed to say that.
I know that, but obviously nowadays, women, I love you all, and I know that you are.
Yeah, by the way, some of you are bill payers, yeah.
Some of you
I
are.
know
Bill
some of
payers.
them are
I
bill
mean,
payers.
you ain't gonna be the bill payer when you're around me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow!
Just throw that
We
one
say
out.
we're selling. We say we're doing more than selling, boy.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
so
more
yeah,
than
so in
seven.
regards to that, bro, we have gone from everything from how to say hello, tonality, how to build a script. We give live calls. We show you how we say things. Then we've gone further, and I'm just going to talk about the sales point of view for now. Then we talk about objection handling, how to pivot into closing, closing techniques, language patterns, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, i.e.
We got everything here.
Yeah, it's all there. It's all there. So we've got sections. So let me just see this quickly. So we've got different sections.
I want you to read them the start because I want them to see how much you put into it. I want you to
Okay.
read them the start to the end.
Bear in mind, this is something we put a lot of time and effort into.
And you're going to let them know the price?
Yeah, we'll let them know the price. There's actually certain discounts that we might even apply to your audience. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic,
Okay.
guys.
So so first part of the module is called Introduction to Remote Selling. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is an introduction to sales. That's where we go over mindset. And we speak about the benefits of remote selling, how lockdown affected remote sales. Just for anyone who doesn't know what remote sales is, gives you that background. And then how to get the best out of the course and ethical guidelines, What we teach in this is so powerful that we have to make it clear to use this for good. Because it could be used for bad, innit?
What are you talking about? Some dark psychology,
I was
sales tricks
literally
or
about
anything?
to
Yeah,
say.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
are.
yeah.
In a sense of psychologically, it will allow you to influence any human being if we're cutting the crap. So we have to make sure that people are aware to just use that for the good. Do you know what I mean? Influencing is not a bad thing, nor is it negative, even like the term dark, but society's made us think it is. But we explain and we debunk that, Then we got Before You Dial, which is, so what we set out is closer commandments and setter standards. Again, just so you're aware, the closer commandments is the same commandments that I taught people in 2012, 2015, 2018, like for that whole time period, that led people to go and make six figures with their eyes closed. Yeah. So this is proper stuff. Preparing for a sales call, what to do before, mental and physical, because that's important. Building your sales script, super important. Again, we do a live session on that one.
So what, would you help them articulate it to whatever they're selling, products or information?
Yeah, so we give generic examples. So we'll like, for example, we say for this, we're going to be selling marketing. You can just fill in the gaps. So we can't obviously tailor to everyone because it's not one-to-one.
Okay, but so if there was one-to-one, you would help them?
Oh yeah, one-to-one boosters, like that would mean that you're with me going through calls and stuff. So that would be way deeper. Setting your sales targets, time and productivity management. Then you've got the actual call. So on the call, you've got the weigh-in. So that's the intro. Mapping your client, which is the questioning phase. Qualifying your clients. 3 aspects of what a client is. Building rapport and trust. Understanding your prospect's needs. Tonality and body language. The 3 10s. Closing techniques and asking for the money. Objection handling. Follow-up calls. Then we've done a bonus module, which is NLP and how to use NLP and embedded commands.
And what is NLP?
Neuro-linguistic programming. So that is what marketing is doing to us on a day-to-day basis. So that is like why McDonald's use yellow and red. That is why most food brands will use an orange and a blue. Like it's subconscious stuff that we don't realize is happening.
So why do you
Guaranteed because we've already signed contracts. They've already said
And you were just
niche
signed
group.
them too.
If you approve them, we'll place them. Brilliant for us, yeah. But then we've gone so mad that we teach you how to get the job without us. Do you get what I mean? That's how much value we're giving. So you could actually, if you wanted to, not saying you should do this.
Sales consultancy.
Yeah, there's that. Or you could come on board, which is something we do allow, where you might not necessarily want the job placement. You might just want the training, and we've given you the tools to be able to go, and that would obviously be at a cheaper price. So there's everything in there. That is one thing that I would stand on and say, if you study that in depth, and I wouldn't even say study it once, because I never studied no sales training once. I studied it, I still study it now, 10 years later. So I'd say study it, engrave it. By the end of that, you will 100%, if you apply everything, make your first £10,000.
Yeah.
100%.
If you study it though, I feel like
If
what
you
happens
master
with
it.
a lot of things is that people just try and zoom through it, or some
Yeah.
people actually think that once you buy, because I was guilty of this. I used to think once you buy the course, that's job done. It sounds silly, but lots of people do that. Like you think that once you read the book, your job's done. You think that once you buy the course, your job's done. You think that once you watch the video, your job's done. No, you have to really study it, really take it in. That's what you mean. If you do study it, then you'll make 10K a month. Like no questions about it.
And we even drip fed it when we released it so that people would take their time and not try and zoom through for the job, bro. So yeah, bro, there's a lot been put into it. We're doing weekly calls with people. We're about to open up our sales community. By the time this is out, that will be out. So if anyone is like in a position where, let's say they're literally broke, dead broke, and can't afford even to get in the academy, we've got a pay-as-you-like system. So you pay whatever you want on a monthly basis. We've converted in-house to the Cut the Crap sales community. So we do weekly calls on it, just like we used to do with in-house, access to events, but we're going to put loads of resources in there. So learn how to build a script, this, that, and the other. And there'll be like sales memes, and you have access to our job roles way before everyone else, stuff like that.
So how much are you making on remote?
Remote sales roles.
Yeah.
So I like to make this clear. What we're making versus what you're going to make getting in the role is different. Yeah, because a lot of people don't make that clear. Why? Because we run the company. It's different for us. If we sell something for 5K, the company makes 5K. Yeah. But generally speaking, we always say between 5 and 15K. I like to use real examples. So
that a month?
Yeah.
That's a month, yeah. So I like to use real examples. So like one of our closers right now, who you'll hear me speak about everywhere, just because we're proud of it more
Is
than
that
anything.
when you put him on the gram story?
Maybe I put them all up. I don't even think that's Header that they're talking about. I think that's someone
the one
else.
that's got like
that's
800K.
the
no,
one who
someone
closed
else.
from the
Yeah,
academy.
that's
Mate.
Josh. No, that's Josh.
Oh,
Josh is
okay,
the
yeah.
guy. Josh is the guy who closed. Matty is the guy from before. Josh
That's
is
the one you
guy that
messaged me about.
commented.
Mate, you messaged me about.
Like 2-3 days ago.
Yeah,
Recently.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Josh. He closed someone £800 a month.
And that's recurring for him as well.
Yeah,
as long
yeah,
as
yeah.
they stay.
As long as they stay.
as long as obviously, yeah, as
The,
long as
the,
they-
the one I was going to refer to, Header, he's 19 years old and he makes no less than 6-7 grand a month on top of his recruitment role. And he's been working with us probably for like 6 months.
And what's his role? Just closing as well.
He's actually not even a closer.
He's a setter, which
He's
is
a setter.
like,
Appointment setter.
quote, one down from
Yeah.
from a closer. So he calls people and gets them booked in with us, and then we close.
And where's he based? Dubai or UK?
He's
Oh,
UK.
UK.
He's UK.
Yeah, I want to debunk that as well. It's nothing to do with Dubai. Like I think a lot of people think like it's something to do with Dubai, which we need to be clear on the messaging of. It's nothing to do with Dubai. Like you can be anywhere, which is why it's remote. And on top of that, the job roles. I think I get where the confusion's coming because we are advertising roles in Dubai as well. So I think people might think that, but it's nothing to do with Dubai.
So even then, obviously, let's say I've just come through the CTC, is that correct?
Yeah.
Sales Academy.
Yeah.
What would I expect next? So how many calls am I taking a day? How many
Yeah,
calls am I
yeah,
taking
yeah.
a week?
It's-
How
And
much
what's
time is it going to take?
What's the average percentage somebody closes a deal? Because obviously I know a lot of people think remote sales, I'm closing 100% of the time, 90% of the time without no experience.
Yeah, so how many calls you do a day just depends. It's a difficult one to answer. If you're an appointment setter, you could take 50 calls a day, let's say. Might take 20, might take 10. It all depends on what business that you're working at. So for example, let's say you wanted
Oh, is
something
that,
full time.
that through the clients?
Yeah, because you're
okay.
working for someone else, right? So if you say, look, you're free all day, you want to work 12-hour days, and you're just a hooligan and you just want to go crazy, right? I might get you a job where there's 50 calls a day. Whereas if you're someone that, I'm still at uni, so I want to take it easy, I might get you somewhere where there's 10 calls a day. So the actual call depends. Now, as much as the calls depend, you can also be an appointment setter, but you can also be a closer. So a closer, the most calls a closer might have a day is maybe 8, let's say.
And that varies on the company?
Yeah, again, varies on the company because different companies have different amount of sales calls, different ticket prices, etc. But as a general rule of thumb, what I would say is if you're a setter, you could expect to take about 20 calls a day. And if you're a closer, expect to take maybe 3 to 5 calls a day. That's generally, if you want to do less, you can do less. If you want to do more, you can do more. But that's a generalization. Now, in terms of close rates, I would say someone that's coming in that's new should make between 20 and 30%. You should close between 20 and 30%. Any higher, obviously, you're pretty good. Any lower, you probably wouldn't have got through what we're doing, and you're likely to get fired. And that's just. So
you guys are performance-based as well?
Thing. It's not.
We
it's
don't
not
let
we're
them graduate.
performance-based.
Oh, you
It's
don't
that-
let them graduate?
Yeah, it's that if you're not good, if you can't close us at the end, we're not going to put you through.
So even then, all these leads are pretty much warm, qualified people.
If
All
you're
you
a
have to
closer,
do-
yeah. If you're a closer, they would have likely spoken to an
So
appointment.
really and
setter already.
truly, with the training you guys provide, you should have just
Should close.
You
Don't
saw
invest it.
what Mate did.
Yeah.
18
I've been
years
seeing
old.
some,
yeah.
18 years old. I've never met him.
We would think because we was like, for myself, I wanted to put in the trench first and say, yo, once I've did that mindset of keep going, remote closing was the next step. So obviously you're saying, with that, you guys will have 9 calls ready for someone to just take. And really and truly, is there an expectation of 20%?
Yeah, there is. So that's the reason why we're strict on what this is, because what I want to get clear in the remote sales world is they're commission only roles. So people think that it's easy to get a job, and it is actually quite. It's not easy, but it's not the hardest job to get in the world.
Cut the crap.
Do you know what though?
I'll
To just
be
jump
real.
in, entry level sales roles, like I said, going back 2012, they are easy to get, but they're
Yeah.
also easy to lose. That's just what we
yeah,
got to
that's
remember.
the thing. So
Especially if you ain't making more money. A lot of
yeah,
people
100%.
if you don't
as well.
close, if you don't so for example, let's say for us, all right, at the moment, me and Trist, we close for us. But let's say someone had convinced us to close. Now we're probably will close about half of the deals that come through, right? If you jump on all the calls and now you close 10%, we're not even leaving you 3-4 days on the calls. We're saying, all right, get off, we'll take them. That's the same with every business. You can't just get hired and it's commission only, but think about the opportunity. Think about how much they've lost. So it's like you've lost 4 calls that I would have closed. So I didn't have to pay you 20 grand, but you lost us 20 grand. So it's not as easy to keep a job as people think. It can be relatively easy to get one, but without the training, you're not going to keep one, and then it's useless.
So what sort of like key qualities would you say someone needs to actually do to get remote closing? Because especially if it's performance based and like you're closing the high ticket deals, meaning a lot more higher risk. Like if we knock on a door, it's just a door. There's still another 90 doors. Whereas with a sale, high ticket closing, it's like you have 6 calls today. Every call is lethal.
Do you know what I would say? One thing, and
that's
even,
a lot of high pressure, especially for someone young.
Yeah.
And something I wouldn't have picked up on, but since you were talking about it being high pressure, I think a big thing is you've got to not think it's high pressure.
Yeah.
Like that's actually a big thing. I wouldn't have said that had you not have voiced it.
Yeah, it's mad.
Even
Even hearing you say that is
it's
mad.
not actually that deep. Because remember, if I'm selling something that's 10 grand, you're thinking of it in your mind, like spending 10 grand. Oh my gosh, the people that we're selling things to that are 10 grand, they don't care.
That's
like,
actually the first shift you need.
Yeah, it's not a lot of money. It's like the thing that I hate, and I don't put it past anyone, but it's like if I say that I sold a package for like we have a client who sells something for 25k, you'll say, oh, that's a lot of money. That actually kind of annoys me because my thing is it's not for you. Don't even comment on if it's a lot of money because the guy that bought it didn't think it was a lot of money and he made a lot of money, what anyone would call a lot of money from it. So a lot of money is mad subjective. Like we think something that's 10k is expensive. There's another person that spent 10k just today on socks. So it's not actually a lot of money. Like it's not. I want, and as the salesperson, you have to think that. Like, if you're like, oh my gosh, this is a life commitment that you're gonna make. Are you sure you want to send us this 10k? I'm not trusting you with that. If it's just something I do this all the time, I have 8 calls, they're all 10k. Oh yeah, you want to do it? Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll just sign you up. Blah, 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 no big deal. Okay, cool. That 10k sent and da. It's like it needs to not feel like a huge deal. Just because the sum of money you're dealing with is bigger doesn't make it a bigger deal.
Commission, what's commission based we're talking?
Commission is 10 to 20% for a closer, and for a setter is about 5 to 10%.
Oh, okay.
10%.
So
It's very important, and I think
what's the minimum? So what's the minimum?
Go on.
I mean, what's the
Minimum what?
minimum ticket?
Minimum ticket price is about 3k. It's not
3K.
actually the minimum in the sense of you can sell something for less than 3k. We just wouldn't really recommend it because the lower what you're selling for, just the less appealing it is.
And does the company ever change you're working with? So let's say, for example, you might have a call at 6 p.m. for someone you're selling 25k ticket and you get 10%, or would that just be the one company you're with for the whole day, or would it vary?
Yeah,
so like you might have a 4k ticket at 2 p.m.
Yeah, no, you'd work with the same person. The reason it's interesting.
So you get familiar with.
Yeah, of course. That's the first reason. Now the second reason is it's interesting. I remember I was speaking to someone, and this is before we had the academy, but because we were already placing people, and I'd placed someone, and they had an appointment setting role, and they said to me that they wanted another one, and I said, why? It's like people just think that stacking 2 jobs means you get double the money. In fact, you probably get less. No, I do hate that because my thing is. Because you're just splitting your time in 2 things. You're not going to become proficient in either. Instead, what I would say,
we have to learn that the hard way.
As an appointment setter, you can make as many calls a day as you want. You've got a lead list. If you want 2 jobs, why not just call, instead of calling 50 at this job, 50, why not just call 100?
People ain't ready for that, man. Like, what he's saying is such a big gem, but I don't think people are ready for that. Like, even you saying, like, why is that? Like, see, when I, in my day, when I got into high ticket sales, bro, you couldn't even have a Forex portfolio, bro. You shouldn't be making a penny outside of these 4 walls, like nothing. Like if you have anything else that can make you money, you could get sacked. Simply because your only focus is supposed to be here.
On the business.
That's the only thing you're supposed to be doing is focus. Every day, all my life was, bro, and this is what I think people see now, and there's so much going on. And I guess what can sometimes be bad is that could be the inspiration to the next generation. Like, oh yeah, I want to be like my man. There's so much going on, like tour, YouTube, all this other stuff, bro. From 19 to 28, you couldn't even get through to me from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. You couldn't get through to me, bro.
And obviously, do you guys build a team as well when you was doing it?
I ended up building a team, but let me take back a few years. Before I got into a team training other people, when I myself was on the phones, walking around every single day, I wasn't speaking to no one, my friends. I said some of this stuff last time I come here. And on top of that, there was nothing else. There was no YouTube, no platform, nothing, bro. Like there was nothing. There was no need for nothing. I wasn't talking to no one who was outside of the bubble. Like there was just nothing else. So I think it's important that we always tell people the other aspects to it, because that's why we talk the figures we talk, because we were really, really, really engraved in it. And even now, we still are, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? We still, like when we lock in. We're not going nowhere. We're not focused on nothing else. We ain't got other side little ventures or investments or whatever that we're focused on. We're just focused on this. And we know that with a 3 to 5 year consistency on that, then we're super, super lit. I don't want no one to join our academy and think, I can, like, yeah. The thing is, you can do it on the side, innit? And when people have asked us, we have to say yes, because you can. But I just personally would say, that's fine, but what's your goal? If your goal is to get here, Don't do it on the side.
Yeah, I personally, obviously, look, it works for people on the side. I personally don't want people that are going to do it on the side, personally. And yeah,
You see, you want
I said
employment?
it on the podcast.
You want employment?
Yeah, I said it on the podcast. And
No,
do you know what?
no,
Do you know
no,
what?
You want employment?
Just like, oh.
You want employment?
No. I know they might want to do it on the side. I know they might want to, yeah. And look, that's fine for you guys to do it on the side. It's fine for you lot to do it on the side. But my thing is, I don't ever want someone to even consider that they've been missold. Like, the reason I can boastfully talk about big numbers, you will make this much money, I can say it confidently, but the contingency, the fine print that no one sees is that if you put your all into it, that's the part that people hate.
Yeah.
So it's like, what I don't want to do, I even see someone online, we reacted to a video, a guy said, I do remote closing and this isn't how much money you make.
I posted that today.
Yeah, bro, that's not
Yeah,
how much you
that's the one I
make.
saw.
Yeah, that's not how much you make. And the reason you don't make it is because you do it on the side and then you're 3 weeks in and now you've turned around and said, this is not how much money
That
you
used
make.
to be a fine in our office. You see, if I was on the phone to a client and you came over and said, "Oh no, don't call him, he ain't got no money," you could get fined for that. Yeah, because you're projecting your shit onto mine.
onto
No,
him.
you're just shit. Like, only because he said no to you doesn't mean he's gonna say no to me. Like, I don't know if you lot are that far in yet, but I'm sure you will definitely open doors
Yeah,
that
knocked
someone
on
else has
someone's
been
door,
at,
someone else
and you've
knocked
closed them.
and got a sale.
It's
Yeah,
life,
yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you're that's always gonna be the case. Do you know what I mean? Whether that's big sale, whatever. So that whole concept of like, oh, you don't know until you're in it, and what you can do is based on how far you think. So it's very important for you to have a stretched mindset when you get into this.
So do you know the appointment setters, yeah? They're paid for each deal that gets closed after they're set.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make that.
Well, I say that there's some roles where you can be paid per booked call, but typically you're going to be paid a commission off the close that's made off of your booked call. Typically.
Okay. So what's the progression like? I've gone through the sales academy. I've now got the job. What's the progression after that?
So the most natural progression is that you go through the academy, you obviously pass the academy, you become an appointment setter, you become a good appointment setter. Now, 9 times out of 10, if you're...
wait. So when you do that, you don't straight close. It's
No,
appointment setter.
you can. I'm just
you
saying
can,
the most natural progression and the
Okay.
progression
But
that makes
can I
the most
jump in
sense.
there though? It jars me that people want to close so soon.
Yeah.
I got a DM the other day from someone, and he said to me, "Yeah, bro, I just got into whiskey, which is quite a common product nowadays for high ticket." And he said, "I'm doing what you do, bro, like what you used to do, yeah." Like, because he's aspiring to achieve what I've achieved. And he said, "Yeah, man, I'm going closing next month." In my eyes, it's a dog shit company. And the reason why it's a dog shit company, again, I'm old school though, is we had to, like, you master appointment setting before you think about closing. If you can't master getting through the door and getting someone to grab a pen and paper and getting someone to just literally fill out a leaflet or something very simple, like book an appointment, how do you think you're going to get someone to part with $500,000 or $1 million? How, if you can't do that? Now, I'm not saying that someone will never be able to, because you're always going to get man who wing it, and you're always going to get, bro, I've seen it. Remember, like, and the reason I rant about this is because I never got to share this experience when it was happening, so I'm big on it now. I have seen the whole wave of the high ticket sales industry go through about 3 or 4 cycles in my time, yeah? And now the current cycle is you've got a lot of young guys who will come in and they just want to close. And I get it, because that's where the 20% comms usually are. You want to make the most money. Then you've got company owners who just don't really give a fuck and they're just throwing bums on seats. So they give you the closing position. And then you've got a closer who runs around saying, yeah, I'm a closer, look at me making loads of money. And they're making £10,000 a month, which, being honest, is actually dog shit. £10,000 a month is like, no, it is, bro. £10,000 a month is like the bare minimum if you're saying the term closer. I'm not saying anything else. I'm not saying it's dog shit for any person. Definitely isn't dog shit for an appointment setter, but you're walking around, I'm a closer. No, bro. You're putting yourself in the same category as me or all my friends who are closers. Yeah. Like, that's crazy.
That's the disrespect.
That's actually insane. Or even, let's take it away from me, like real estate brokers in Dubai. I know some in LA, like, the ones that are a $1 million listing, these are closers, bro. They're making hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're closers. Do you get what I mean? Arguably, they have a higher ticket. But guess how you get a higher ticket, bro? You align with the right people. Guess how you do that?
Tell them how you do it.
Call to action. Let me just reschedule this client.
Oh, my
But yeah, go on.
I don't even know
Where
what
was
I
that?
You're about to Cam.
Sorry, I went back.
I was going to
You
ask you,
went
Cam. So why do you always? So back to what Tris was saying.
Yeah.
You. I remember we spoke and you was like, even if you was to do this, I would throw you in appointment setting before I would even make you a
I remember
closer.
that. I remember that.
Why? Oh, I said that to you. That's cold. Yeah. No, do you know why I like that? I said that because that means I wasn't trying to sell you. That's cold because if I said a closer, you would have been more starry-eyed to it and you would have wanted to do it. Appointment set. You're gonna talk to more people every single day, and look, being a closer, it sounds glamorous, but if I threw you in on a product that is 25k, let's say, and you're taking one sales call a day, you're just gonna lose it. If you didn't close in the first week, you've had 5 calls. Probably aren't going to close any of them. Now you've lost your role. Now you're screwing. Now sales doesn't work. Now Cameron's a scammer. Like that's actually how it goes.
Cameron's a scammer.
That's actually how it goes.
I know, that's got to go on the trailer. That's got to go on the trailer.
That's actually how it goes, right? But instead, you could take an appointment setting role. You call 50 people a day. You learn to talk to loads of different people every single day. You call all of them. You might get told on the first day no from all of them. Literally, like door to door, just talking to more people. The more people you talk to, the more you're going to learn. So now, the more practice you have now, within 6 months, you can be a closer. And now, guess what? You might get put on something where you're making 25k. It's 25k per call, and now you're actually closing them. Now you're actually making money. Like closer's glamorous. It sounds cool, right?
Yeah.
You're
right. Still, you remind me of like one of our workers named Sina. Shout out Sina.
Shout out Sina.
Because obviously we had a thing where we like play a game where it was like 20 doors. Who could close the most? And obviously you're thinking to yourself, and when you started, it was like you had 100 doors, you leave with 5 sales, but then Cena would do 3 doors and get 2 sales. And then that goes to show who's the real seller.
That's what I'm on.
And obviously I think that's what I had to learn, whereas I wanted you to become so good of a seller where, you know, put me on 5 doors, I know I'll probably get 2 out of 5.
That's what I'm on.
3 out of
Like,
5.
But you only get that after first knocking on the 100.
And that's what
people want to do. Is people want to become
what
that
you're saying
guy.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now I've done
100%. But it just doesn't sound as cool, right? And also another thing with an appointment set, it's easier. Like we can all make it seem like we're tough, and I can get told no 100,000 times, and I'm still gonna continue. Bro, most people aren't like that. Like, if we cut the crap, most people ain't like that, bro. I tell you to do one thing for a week, it doesn't go well, you quit. Like, so being a closer is cool, but I'm gonna tell you what comes with being a closer. I'm not gonna tell someone not to do, but I'm gonna tell you what comes with it. So if you're on an appointment set, you're gonna just get people are gonna say yes to you more often, which as much as you might not get paid straight away, but it's gonna make you feel better. If you get on a phone call with someone and people are doing what you say, that's gonna make you feel good. It's gonna encourage you to learn more, right? You're gonna associate more good feeling with sales, which again, as much as we can be tough, good feeling towards what you're doing, gonna study it more. You're just gonna go further long term, right? I know it's not what people want to hear because you're not gonna make 500 grand a month in the first month, but if you start this way, within a year, you're actually gonna have money. It's like I can give you the blueprint to make money in a year. The only thing is, are you actually gonna follow that?
Yeah.
So what's the next? So obviously we talk about the next stage of obviously becoming a closer.
Yeah.
Would you ever recommend someone to do what you guys do who comes through the boot camp?
What do you mean?
As in training?
Yeah, so once they learn all this, they're like, because you said you help them to find jobs.
Yeah.
But obviously, let's say someone with a bigger mindset would be like, yo, I know how to sell.
Yeah.
All I have to do is repeat.
Yeah.
Repeat what?
As in the same sales training. Obviously, I could imagine
Oh, no, but you can't. Sorry to jump in. There's no chance.
No chance.
Like, there's just no chance, bro. Like, see
What
the
do you-
advantage.
what do you mean? I don't get what
He's
you mean.
saying take our training and become a trainer.
Become a
rather
trainer.
than
Yeah,
become
the
a
other way, like
salesman.
somebody then could
after 10
reach out
years.
reach out to
10
companies
years.
and be like, this is what I do in consultancy. I'll get you.
You
this
can,
price.
and you
Blah,
remember,
blah.
you see the mad thing about
I
sales.
realize even in the office, everyone's just doing consultancy. Where does the troops?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the
this
thing
is what's
but
wrong
hear
with
this.
the
No, but
game.
hear this, hear this.
That's
Hear
classic.
this.
All
Hear this though. Hear
This
this.
what's
Hear
wrong
this.
with
that is
Hear
learn.
this.
Get
Go
the
and be a
ability.
Go and be a consultant then right now.
Yeah.
Just go
I
and do
couldn't do
it.
that right now. I haven't got the whole training yet.
Yeah,
Just
but
yet.
my
But to
thing
be
is,
honest, most of
after-
them probably haven't either. Like,
This is what I'm saying. I'm willing to learn as much as I can.
my thing is, to answer that question is like, let me not be ignorant and say you can't be a sales trainer, like you can't aspire to be a sales trainer. You definitely can. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to outplay you that have real life experience. And that's just, you just can't even compete with that. It's like, I'm 32. If I start playing football now, it doesn't matter how cold I am, bro. There's people that have been doing this since they were 19, 15, 14 academy. Do you know what I'm saying? So with sales training, what you'll find is most people that dominate and get to a level of saying, I'm a trainer, which is quite a bold statement, they usually have a good level of experience behind them. So, and also on top of that, to regurgitate, don't get twisted, most sales training is a mixture of other people's sales training because you learn and then you add it towards your own experience. So that there's nothing new under the sun, as they say. But for you to aspire to be like, I don't know, like I'm assuming we're thinking big here, so top level sales trainer after going on a course and then taking all our sales training, good luck. Like, do you get what I mean?
People do that though.
People
That's
probably will.
Because
Yeah, they probably
do
will.
you guys not put it in like disclaimer, like a contract, whereas in you have to do a certain amount of months before you think about going anywhere else?
Nah.
Where,
What do you mean?
I don't get what.
As in, like someone just trying to rinse and repeat, try and copy exactly what you guys
I
do.
don't
But what
think
would they
you can
do with
copy
it?
it,
You're
bro.
saying, as in they'll take the training,
As in take the
Take it,
training,
train other
teach it for
people.
themselves,
train other
yeah.
people, and,
Nah.
then do what you guys
That's
do.
the blessing we have because we are us, innit? A lot of, I guess sometimes it's a jar and a downfall that we're us, but in scenarios like this, it's amazing that we're us because you couldn't even just read the script that we've wrote of every word we said and it be the same, let alone know what the hell we're talking about and be able to refer to so many real life scenarios, be able to make it relatable, be able to understand what the people you're teaching is thinking. Remember, teaching is an acquired skill. I could sit here, the reason why you probably digest the stuff I'm saying is I've made it relatable to you. If I walk into a corporate office right now, I'm not going to say, I might change it a bit, but I'm not going to say, imagine walk up to a girl in a bar and you're trying to, I'm going to use different analogies.
Articulate yourself.
Because to train sales, you have to sell. So when I'm training you, I'm still selling you. Do you get what I mean? And to sell someone, no two people are the same.
Yeah.
So for you to start that after a year, you're doomed.
I don't think you'd want to. I can't lie. When I think about it, if I was 3 months in, would I want to build a course, not make any money for months, go into the struggle of having it, pay for a videographer for months, sit there, stressed out of my mind, redo videos, wake up in the morning, tell Trist that one was shit, redo it. Trist tell me that one was shit, redo it.
Was that the
For
backstory
months.
of it?
Yes,
Yeah,
bro.
for everything.
I remember you
For
spoke
months.
about it where you said for months.
Yeah,
it
for
was-
months just
Yes,
doing
bro.
it. Would I want to do that, or would I actually, once I'm 3 months in, you know what? Let me just jump on Zoom calls and make a little 5 to 15K. Then maybe 3 years later I'll think about that. But I think it's so lucrative doing what you're doing that people aren't actually going to look elsewhere at the start. Like what we do, yeah, we make more money, but it's a lot more difficult to set this side up. So to start out,
Would you ever teach? Because obviously, I'm guessing in direct marketing, you have to build in a team.
Yeah.
And then obviously the next one, he's assistant manager. Now,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
man, now he's got his own store where he
Yeah.
teaches exactly what you teaches. And then obviously, like the first generation, the second generation, third.
Yeah.
Would you guys ever do something like that?
What
in
do you
what
mean?
sense?
So like,
Because I think
Because
we do
we
that.
train sales
so
teams.
As in-
you see where I'm coming from.
in-
As in, you guys have your consultancy right now, obviously
Yeah.
teaching
Oh,
everything.
I know what you're saying.
And then you guys train them up to become their seller, and then under
That's what's happening.
your umbrella, would you ever have them start their own one?
That's what's happening,
And
yeah.
then they teach now, and then they build a team, and
Yeah.
then the person under that has their own one.
Yeah, that's
What-
that.
what-
So that's what I was saying. Was that what you
In the
guys
sense
do?
of we're gonna eventually build trainers. Yeah, we're gonna build the next generation of
and then
sales
obviously,
trainers.
This
yeah.
is what I was saying. Then would you ever would that be all be part of Cut the Crap?
Yeah.
And then
That's
obviously-
the bigger vision.
And
That's the
yeah,
bigger vision.
yeah.
But remember,
Yeah.
right now,
You see where I'm coming from, Cam?
I do.
Yeah.
Just to be clear though, the jobs that we get people, like the reason we don't have a contract like you have to work the job, they don't work for us. Just
Yeah,
to
they
be
don't work
clear,
for
like, I
us.
don't
You don't
want
get
people
placed
to
for
think
us.
that you don't work for us. It's not like we train you, then we place you at us. Listen, if you're extremely good, I might give you another say, hey bro, I mean, we can place you here,
Yeah.
but we love you on our team. But that's not the premise. So the premise is you work for another company and sell for them. Just to so everyone's clear.
but that
clear
is
on
the
side.
empire vision. I think right now you got to remember
Yeah,
is
God, the story.
we just love this for now, and also I'm mad picky about who I would say is a certified sales trainer. Right now, if I'm honest, my main focus is us sharpening each other and getting to the point where I could, not that we'd ever do it, but so we could. I could be in one country, he could be in another, and we both deliver to the same standard. Like that's more important. Again, not that we would do it, but that we're at that standard where we just know. Then later on we think about that. But they've got to be at a certain caliber. Like I don't rate a lot of salespeople, man. It
So
takes a lot.
in terms of obviously sales training, is there anything you guys feel like you would need to improve on in your own sales?
That's what you said that to me once, isn't it? For me,
Because after every call, I know for a fact you guys probably do a breakdown as in, you know what, maybe I
Yeah.
could have said this better.
There is with me. The easiest thing for me is that there is with me, but I don't always know what they are because I'm good, but Tris has got so much more years on me that I need Tris for me to get better at this stage. It's like I've done loads of reps.
He's
It's
got a
like
great mental.
It's like
I know,
yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
I'm
I've done
friend as
enough
well.
reps where it's now like it's not it's not a rep thing because you're always gonna get better with reps, but it's not like as black and white as like easy. So it's like when you first
you need
start
the
selling-
guidance, to
Yeah,
be honest.
yeah, I need
and
the
that's
guidance, and
something
the
to
thing.
put out there. Everyone does.
Yeah.
Like, you see that whole thing about, that's why Cam said at the beginning about the reps, why I disagreed. You could, like, I've done trenches as well, where I've been in a like an office like this on my own for 6 months. You don't learn, bro.
Yeah.
See,
You
funny
don't
if you
learn.
say
Yeah,
it, 'cause
so it's not
that's
just
where we
reps.
was at with the point where
100%.
we had to go out and find somebody else to teach
You
us.
need
to
the
then
guidance.
go
Yeah,
to
yeah,
reps. 'Cause
especially,
obviously,
yeah.
even
People.
then, to become a potent seller, like it wasn't until the other day where I asked him for some singular training, and obviously on the field, one thing that was holding me back was external external locus control. So whereas what it is like saying outside things are the reason why I aren't getting my success. So imagine one thing we noticed was
We just call that being a bitch.
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah, that's an edict. Yeah, no, that's cold. That's an edict.
I went,
A man said external locus, you know. A man tried nicing it up. That's why I cut the crap. That's why man cut the
No, it's being a bitch.
That makes you feel good, you know.
Yeah,
External locus. It's an
Man got
edict.
it for medication
Yeah.
online Googling symptoms and treatment.
you guys had that if you ain't got it. But it comes to so remember what you said, obviously, there's probably been times you've knocked on someone's door.
Yeah.
And you probably got the sale. So one thing we had is, man, I knocked this to you already. It's dead, it's been washed out.
Yeah,
You don't want to
I'll be honest, I'll be very honest, yeah, because sometimes I jump in because you touch mad sensitive nerves. Stuff like that, fine, sacking. You're getting sacked for it.
That's what I had to
That's
learn then.
mental.
Obviously, one thing you taught me was internal locus control, meaning your success
It's dependent on you.
Yours depend on you.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly,
we
I
say
feel like
said.
that's one thing that's changed, managed me to get sales more because no matter what the door is.
Yeah.
If I believe I'm better than the next man who came here last time.
I just
get
think
more
that's
sales.
mental to even start like that. I guess everyone, I don't think I did. Like, our version of that, again, we literally all cut the crap, was I always pay it, I'm responsible, I'm not entitled. I'm responsible means every deal that goes right or wrong is your fault.
We had a mind theory. So it's
Yeah.
like my success is in my control.
Yeah. That concept of whatever that word is you just said.
Yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
mental.
That's
Like, yeah.
Internal locus.
But do you know what's so,
But
on a
I
serious
thought you would have
note,
had that as a psychology because I know a lot of salespeople.
but
be
this
like,
is
Yeah,
what
but that's why you
we're
need
going
to cut the
against
crap.
this.
That's
This
a-
is what we're
that
going
word.
against.
So you guys wouldn't add that to help
No,
people?
Nah, we would
not with that
explain
jargon.
it.
Not with the jargon.
See the
bro.
thing about the mission of CTC, like I
Jargon's
don't even
mad.
like saying neuro-linguistic programming too tough because then it's like, oh my god, what's this? Like, it's mind games. That's what it is. It's psychological mind games. Like, cut the crap. We built it on. Let's just give it to people raw. That sounds mad.
What
When
you're
you
going.
say raw,
Nah, you gotta
some
chill on
people
that one,
already-
yeah.
when you say raw, pause. But some people would already go into sales with a pre-concept of, this is gonna be tough. So how would you guys
We
combat
debunk that. We
No,
get
That's what I'm
that.
saying. So how would
it's
you
tough
debunk that?
though. It is tough.
So wait, someone will go into sales thinking it's
So
rough.
Yeah, but cut the crap
so
helps
you see how
that.
so you see how I said like when I first started getting sales and I was going back to teas, man, and nuts. Even though I was
Yeah.
still getting sales, I was like, yo, there's less sales in here. And
Yeah.
until I had that mindset shift where he told me, listen, you need to change your mindset. How would you guys?
But we still
how
teach
would
the
you guys
same
debunk
thing.
You
that?
see just how you've explained it then. That's how we.
That's how we
explain
teach
so you
it.
guys
We
still-
wouldn't say you've
Oh,
got.
we teach the same thing you're being
Yeah.
taught.
You see,
We're not
I
saying
thought
you've
you-
got hocus
I
pocus
thought
or
you guys
whatever.
were
We're
saying-
just
I thought you
telling
guys
you.
are saying, yo, he's dead. He shouldn't be on the course or anything like that.
No. In the sense, no, in the
So
sense
you
of
still teach him how to
like
debunk
we're
that.
gonna
Yeah.
sit and say, okay, we just heard your first few calls and we've heard feedback from the company that you've been speaking to other colleagues and you think it's because of the leads or you think it's because of the time you call. I just want to tell you that's bullshit.
Okay, there it is.
There we
That's
go.
bullshit.
That's the cut.
And if
So
you
you
go
guys
back
do
and if you
that,
go back
yeah,
to our
yeah.
module 1, whoever the person is, the first thing is mindset. If you go through that, it's all in there. Like, it's all in there. What I just said, the 3 rules, I'm not entitled, I always pay it, I'm responsible. And everything else that was like mindset, little tips and tricks for you to just realize this is all on you. Like, the leads are weak, that's mental. Like, that's another example of it. These are like banished things from sales.
So what are some of the banished things you guys have from sales, especially
That.
in your boot camp? Yeah, don't worry.
What
Mindset
else?
change
What
on that.
Excuses, like this is not even from. This is just to get in sales. Things I would not hire, which is a great question.
Yes, definitely.
Someone with excuses, someone who thinks it's dependent, I guess, same kind of thing on something else outside of their control. Someone who also within sales, and it's going to sound a bit mad, asks way too many questions. Like, that is a red flag for me. Like, in the sense of, like, my thing is, tell me the product, what's the benefit, let me sell. Cut the crap, let me sell. All the other stuff is only little ways that humans like to use as procrastination. So if they say, oh, okay, so what would you say? Look at if
So
someone
what kind of
says that.
The
The best way to find out what to say if someone says that is to call. That's the
Okay.
best way. Like, yeah, we can go and train you. I can give you, when I do objection handling for companies, I can't cover every objection you're going to face. I don't know what that person's going through on that day. What I can do is give you mechanisms so you understand objection. Okay, understand what the core of that is, pivot, loop back towards what the benefit is, inflict your tone. I can give you those systems, but you got to change that every call. Do you know what I mean? So that's a red flag.
So talking about objection handling, let's see some. I'm gonna just throw some. I'm gonna guess how you guys would do.
Yeah,
Right, what you guys
go
say?
on,
Imagine
go
this
on,
is
go
like
on.
a live call.
Alright, go
So
on.
imagine you want to be first. And you come first. You're like, kind of take his chest.
Kind of scratching his
Go
head.
on, go on.
you know.
No, actually, no.
I'm good
No,
with
do
it,
you know I'm gonna take it? Cause I went on a show with Big G, football show,
Yeah.
and football ain't my master.
goalkeeper.
Yeah. So I let him take the penalty. So if you're talking to him about Styles, let me take the penalty. Yeah?
yeah,
So
yeah,
go on,
yeah.
talk to me.
So even then, so let's say, you put me on the call, you qualified me, and I've just gone, I don't really know. I need to go and think about it with the missus and everything. I got bills coming up and everything. I'm just not really, I ain't really got the money like that right now.
Brilliant. What is it you need to think about exactly?
As I said, I just ain't got the money right now. I just need to save. I can't afford it right now.
Okay, so what can you afford right now? Out of curiosity.
Good question. I like that one.
That's why I asked it.
Yeah, good question. I can afford half of it right now.
Okay, and what would it take for you to be able to afford all of it? By the way.
Just some time.
Oh, okay, so is it fair to assume that in this position you could secure with a deposit of 50%? And how long would you say you'd need? A few days a week? You tell me.
Probably like 13 weeks, 12.
13.
Is
Okay.
that all right?
It's not. So what we're going to do is this. What I'm willing to do, I'm willing to bend over backwards a little bit here and say 50% as a deposit. Yeah. But what I'm going to need you to do is meet me somewhere in the middle. So rather than getting at 13 weeks, let's bring that down to 4 weeks. What's the chance of you getting to 2 weeks actually, or is 4 weeks more reasonable?
6. Could you do 6?
No, I wouldn't be able to. So would 2 be something that's be doable, or would 4 weeks
I'll
be
go
able to
with
push?
4.
Brilliant. Okay, no problem.
So that's it. So do you guys ever do like any sort of indifference, like
In the sense of
in the sense of
you're
like,
using one of those them words again. Go on.
I can tell you're proper like you studied the book.
Been trained by them boys.
yeah, man,
Go
I
on.
told you.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong
But
with
like
that.
indifference to the point where, as in, so do you see like if he was like said, nah, I can't do 2 or 4 weeks, would you just be like, calm, this ain't for you then? Or like, so
Depends how it feels.
So basically showing like, we don't need you. As in,
Do you know what?
need
Do you
us.
know why I hate the term?
You know that point was in like, you don't really care about.
Do you know why I hate the terminologies and all of this? It's because those books have taught you and have programmed you to think there's a set answer to this question.
Yeah.
And that's what I hate about it. There's no set answer. I could be having a great day and be like, you're mad, I just made 15K. Bye. Or I could be having a shit week and be like, can you do 2 bills now? And 3 bills in? Like, this is cutting the crap. Any salesperson watching this will say the same thing. We can, so I can sit and give you a great technique, but it depends on my mood. But to give you a bit more actionable, we do. So a line that I do use often is I don't need your business.
So
I
what
value
would
it.
you say works well then? With the questioning, the understanding, as in always trying to offer solution to every.
So my thing is to get to the, so all right, objection handling, let's nip that in the bud. Get to the core of what the objection is. So that's why the first thing I asked you was what does that look like for you? The reason I've said that is because you saying you haven't got enough money or you haven't got money, what that means to you, what that means to you, what that means to him, what that means to me could all be different. Yeah, it could be different. I could say I ain't got no money, 10 grand, you could say you ain't got £10. So that's the first thing I want to find out. Secondly, if you notice, you was talking a lot and I didn't interrupt you. You was going, no, I just think that's just what I could. You wanted me to take over the combo because you're uncomfortable now. Natural. Why? Because you just told me no. And human nature, when you tell someone no, you now feel a little bit awkward. Most people, unless you're Cam, you feel a little bit awkward, yeah? But I let you sit in that awkwardness. Then the next thing I said to you, trying to cast my memory back, was, okay, how much can you afford right now? Very short and sweet. That's called a hot potato. See, our terminology ain't as special
we
as
just
theirs.
called it kiss or keep it short.
Keep it short, sweet. Yeah. We did that as well. But in that scenario, same kind of thing. So hot potato back. So how much can you afford? Then you've now said, I could afford half
I
of it.
thought about it, like a hot potato.
Now, because you said half of it, now I know, because you said that so quickly, you can afford more. You said it way too quickly. So now I said, okay, so now I'm going to secure the half and say, brilliant. So what we're going to do, let's secure that 50% now. And then I've said, how long would you need to get the rest? Yeah?
And then
Because I want to see where you are with things
Did you
before I
close
tell
it?
you. What do you mean?
As in, you gave me the closed answer.
Yeah, so I'm
you
going
would
to tell.
always
So I'm
do
going to tell
that
you
one,
where I gave you that. So then I said to you, how long would it take for you to get there? You said 13 weeks. I think you said. I said, okay, well look, I could do 2 weeks, but 4 weeks at the max. And then I said something along the lines of, could you do the 2 weeks, or is 4 weeks be better for you? You didn't agree to any of those. You had actually said 13. But now the way that I've positioned that, I've made it 2 weeks is the squeeze, but 4 weeks is all right.
Okay, so at that point, if I was to be like, listen, I just can't do 2 or 4 weeks, what would you have done next?
So I would have sat again. Every scenario is
Would you
different.
have always so is your thing? Because my thing is, especially door to door.
Yeah.
I would keep overturning you until you slam that door in my face. 'Cause
Yeah,
you're-
1 million percent.
You're
Million
telling me,
percent.
you're telling me there's still something
Million
I can
percent.
say.
Very good,
No
yeah,
matter how
million percent.
awkward it is,
Yeah.
your door is still open.
100%.
Giving the conversation. So
Agreed.
in that one there, if I was to be like, listen, because you gave me a closed question, whereas it's either 2 weeks or 4 weeks, which one am I picking?
Yeah.
How would you then, if the person would be like, listen, I just can't do any of them weeks, it needs to be long, it needs to be longer.
So my first thing would be so you said you can't do sorry, I got thrown off. So you can't do 2 to 4 weeks, it needs to be longer. Okay, what time frame you say you need? You said you need 13 weeks. Out of curiosity, what is it you're gonna do within that 13 weeks?
Accumulate more money.
Okay, how are you gonna do that, by the way?
Obviously I'll be working.
Oh, brilliant. When do you get paid?
I don't really feel happy disclosing that.
Okay, I mean the only thing is for me to be able to help you, I would need to know things like that.
Oh, as I said, I don't really want to disclose that.
Okay, so now you're a red flag. I might not
Okay.
even close you now. I'm going to ask you 2 more times, but if you're not comfortable telling me when you get paid, I don't even think you're committed to this agreement. You've basically just said to me, look, I want to buy your thing, but can we work out a deal? And then I've said to you, what kind of deal? And I've asked you for something basic and you won't give it to me. You're not serious.
So do you feel that the questions? Okay, so obviously you said now he went from a green customer to
Of course, because
Yeah.
we're trying to now work out a deal, so now we're kind of becoming partners.
So you mean
if
we're
I say to Cam,
leeway in here, like
yeah, like if I'm saying to
for
Cam,
sure.
Cam's my business partner, I say to him, yo, what's the code on this? And he's, I don't think I want to tell you that. Okay. We can carry on, but now I know you're a bit...
straight block.
Like this, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I would still continue. That's why I said I would ask the question 3 times. I always ask the order 3 times. So then what I would do from there is I'll turn around and say, I mean, look, and it's all about my tone. The only reason I've asked that is because I need to know that to be able to help you. I mean, by all means, I do want to help you, by the way. And we're going to set up a payment plan that makes sense for you and us. But just before I get there, I would need to know how often do you get paid, or when is it you get paid? Sorry.
This is about every 4 weeks. Or
Now, if you broke on the second one, now I'm cool because now I'm running this conversation. Oh, brilliant! So it said second. What was that? Second of every month? Did you say?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Like that, yeah.
All right, let's do this. Big terminology. Let's do this. Transition word. Now I'm taking control. Let's do this. So you get paid every second of the month. So now what I'm showing you is I'm in charge of your life, but I've made you think you're in charge because this was terms you wanted, right? But I've also just asked you questions. So then I'll say, let's do this. Let's break that payment down. So how much do you get paid per month again? Sorry.
Probably like 2.5.
Bear in mind, you hadn't told me prior, but because the way I said it, you now felt comfortable telling me, yeah? 2.5. Okay, perfect. Look, I mean, what I don't want to do, again, depending on how you're feeling, because if you're in vicious mode, you might want to do it, but I might say, what I don't want to do, I don't want to put you in a position where you spend all your wages on this,
So
right?
all throughout the whole exchange, from the moment I showed you another peak, you
Yeah.
thought, boom, I'm taking control and I'm doing it.
I mean, the whole conversation's control, innit? Like, you should always...
Because one was more in a passive form, whereas
Which?
he was more asking me questions, and then even then your body language changed to more. This is
Oh
what
yeah, now we're pivoting
Yeah,
because I've got everything I need now. So I found out what the real objection was. I found out your financial scenario. I found out when you get paid and what you get paid. I don't need nothing else now. Now I've got enough to be able to what I'm going to do in front of you is I'm going to create a payment plan that works for you. Then now we're just sat here because you said you wanted this and there it is.
Hard.
So can we do it?
Fantastic. Look, bear with me a second. I'm going to pop you on hold. I'll pop you through to Chloe and she'll get the contract over.
Say no more.
Fantastic.
Do you get what I mean?
That's hard stuff. So what is one of the most common objections you guys deal with?
I think time.
Because
I think it's not now.
you mentioned one which you said obviously you struggled with at the start, where like you wouldn't close.
On the call.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Closing on the call is something that I do, but I don't actually think it's an absolute must. I don't think it's an absolute must. I think the biggest one is just time. I think that I would say that's the biggest
As in
one.
it's not the right time.
Yeah, like yeah, sounds good, not now. But I think
So how do
once
you handle that?
How do you deal with that?
Yeah.
I think, and again, this isn't the answer that you're looking for. I think it's dealt with prior to that. I think
Okay,
if you
so
do like we were talking
yeah.
about,
But it's
if you
not
do
sold.
the start, if you do the start right,
Yeah, makes
like
sense.
if the thing that I say, yeah, if I had a Bugatti and it was for £1,000, you would buy it today. You wouldn't, even without urgency, you would buy that today, bro, because you're so sold on it. You're already sold on Bugatti. You're sold on everything. You'd buy it today. You wouldn't say you don't have £1,000. Even if you had £1, you wouldn't say you had £1,000. You would buy it today. You do everything to buy it today. That's because everything prior is right. I don't have to squeeze you for it. The reason that I'm squeezing you is because there's a Hyundai and I'm trying to squeeze you for 69999 and you ain't really on it. So now you're talking about, oh, you know what, bro? Let me just speak to my. If something's a good deal, you don't speak to your wife. You don't take time. You don't do. You buy.
Well, that's when everything marries up. Remember, the reason why the questioning phase is so important is because the reason why you want to go in deep with the questioning phase is to avoid someone throwing an objection later that they can say, oh no, but I'd talk to my business partner.
Yeah.
If you ask the questions properly at the beginning, you can say, oh no, but I had asked you and you said you didn't.
Yeah.
If you haven't asked the questions right, you don't know if that's fact.
Yeah.
So one thing
Another
you did
thing-
was just sick was the pausing as well, because that's one thing I always try to add. Like, why don't you want to do it?
Yeah.
and then I just.
But a lot of people
Why,
are
why don't you
comfortable.
want to do it? It's bad though.
Yeah, a lot.
It's not mad, but you know what I mean? Like,
Do you know-
because with us, they have to put the bank details in our phone.
Yeah.
And obviously, they'll be like, I just don't feel comfortable right now. I'm like, okay. Do you mind asking why is it you don't feel comfortable?
I would never say that.
Oh,
Not like
really?
that.
So how
What
would
would you say?
In fact,
How would you say it?
How
if
would
someone's
how,
on their
how
doorstep and
would
don't
you
feel
guys?
comfortable, I wouldn't have used that tone.
Okay, so how would you guys handle some of our common objections? So our objections is something like, I don't feel comfortable putting my
bank details.
You know what I'd probably do? I'd probably interrupt about the 3 seconds before you ended. I'd be like, look, I totally get it. To be honest with you, it's something that happens every day. And if I'm in your position, you just come to your door, you don't know me from Adam, and I'm asking for your bank details. I get it. However, just so you're aware,
That's
so,
found. Yeah, that's what.
so I'm just telling you what you probably feel like, and then I'm about to tell you why you're fine though. So I'll tell you, I'd interrupt and let you know that I know exactly where you're coming from. And to be honest, if I was on your side of the fence, I'd feel exactly the same. The concept realistically of you meeting me on the doorstep, like I run into all the pain. I'm running into any objection. Like I don't avoid saying like, who knows, I could be a scammer. I'll say, who knows, I could be a scammer. Then you can't say it because I've addressed the elephant in the room. Do you get what I'm saying? So I would turn around and say, look, I totally understand.
So you would address the being a scammer. That's like a big missile to drop because they hear scammer.
Yeah.
Like, the minute then
So
you
I'd
just put
say
it in
first.
their psyche. So you would be like, listen, I could be a scammer. So one thing we do is obviously feel.
I wouldn't say it like that because that was mad.
What's it? Oh,
It's,
yeah,
it's
'cause
the way
I'm
you
thinking,
say it.
Yo, I'm a scammer.
Remember, it's the way. So if I turn around and say, look, I totally get it. I mean, look, I could be a scammer, right? That is so different to I could be a scammer. I could be a scammer, right? I could be a scammer. Like, do you get what I'm saying? It's got two different. Yeah. That's why the tonality is so important. So the reason why I wouldn't say it like that is because when someone is scared about something like bank details, that is usually fear of loss, isn't it? So what you want your tone to do is to be a hug. You want it to be a cuddle. You want that tone to basically say you're safe here without saying you're safe here. So for you to do that, you've got to show them that you understand where they're coming from, but not just do you understand, because I know the cliche, which you probably heard, which is, loads of my clients said the same thing. I totally get where you're coming from. Like,
it is feel felt.
Yeah, like,
I understand
like,
how you feel. What a lot of people felt the same way. What they come to find.
Yeah.
Out. But obviously we just try and blend it our own ways.
which is good, because that's where people go wrong. They would say
it does sound a bit.
Yeah,
It sound like-
exactly.
sound like bitchy.
So I would say the similar thing, but like you said, I would blend it. So it would just be like, look, to be honest, I'm very big on like pauses and breaths and sighs. Like, look.
So
to
my
be
thing
honest.
is eye contact, because I just know eye contact works. Like as
eye
long
contact.
as I'm in front of you and I ain't broke eye contact. So my thing is, especially for the whole pitch, the minute they look away, it kind of shows I've asserted my dominance in your door.
Yeah, but you see, with eye contact, on top of eye contact, it's also good to have facial expressions that are also good. So, like for example, one thing
I smile after every.
I smile. Yeah, I'm very big on smiling. I'm very big on like I just picture myself being them. So I just know how you look. You probably, do you know what I'm saying? Like these are the kind of they're the terminologies that they're probably used to. Like especially like yesterday, I went to my friend's birthday and it was just full of. It sounds mad saying white people, but it's full of white people, yeah. And but very like suburban white people. Yeah. And I was really in my white boy bag. Like I went to private school and I had to flex in that room, yeah. So as I'm talking to people, I'm very like. You just gotta, especially when you're black and you just got beard and stuff like that, you just want to disarm people, innit? So you want them to just know that, really? I can imagine, COVID was a nightmare, honestly. What it done for me as well, you see all the facial, all of the body language, for them is, you're not, see like a road man, a man will be stiff and like that. Yeah. I'm scared of you.
See, that's one thing I learned from sales. It's a lot of acting.
Loads of acting.
Because even when my manager's like, yo, you're a top waffler on these doors. I'm like,
No, I can tell I can see the talent in both of you. I can't lie.
It works.
I'm invoicing you lot for this at the end of the day.
Usually, my thing is, I like to. I got this thing. Yeah, I close on a laugh. Whereas while you're laughing, I'm like, anyway, let's just slide this through. And then obviously,
You remind me of me, Bear. You remind me of me,
before
Bear.
you know it, your phone's in the hand, and I ain't even gonna say it. So obviously, our thing is like, well, my thing is take that. I'm gonna turn my back away and fill in a leaflet with my name and number on there. So my thing is just kind of assumptive. When I first started, I was assumptive, and then I thought,
Exactly how I close.
and then I kind of realized as you go through, everyone's got a different style. There's not one trick that works for all. So like some parts will be assumptive, some parts will be honest, like genuine. Cause I know it's genuine work. So as I noticed, one thing I would say to help me get more sales is being assumptive.
Yeah.
And I was just gonna say
Assumptive is the way still.
Well,
I can see it, bro.
Because even then, I started assumptive went genuine. I noticed myself. I was getting more sales, but it was like I feel like I could have got more. And assumptiveness back, sales went back. And one thing I was gonna say is, you know, when some people like they like say no, I just get all surprised. Like, what are you talking about saying no? And obviously that's where the assumptiveness comes in. And I was gonna say, how do you guys deal with the objections where like someone said, listen, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. That's just a flat block.
My first step is just always why, man. Okay, like, so one thing that we teach in the academy, whenever objection comes, your first response should always have an uptone, positive, not like down, confrontational.
So turn a negative to a positive.
Yeah. So
how would you do that, Cam? Because Tris been answering them. Yeah.
No, do you know why? Tris is the sales trainer. Like, if we cut the crap, the way he would do it is like in the way you said it. So instead of if someone says no, it's not, all right, well, why not? It's okay, no, I got you. Just out of interest, what is it that changed?
Okay.
Hear that tone as well.
Yeah, I heard the tone. I was like,
Why is it changed?
Can't lie. That's his tone. That's his tone. That's his tone.
But do you know why? Because the thing is with the objection, you want to find out why it actually happened. There's a reason why. People probably won't tell you why, but there's a reason they've said no.
So
they
how
haven't
do you
just
keep
woken
digging
up.
to that pain point? Because as I said, you need to think. So
You just ask them,
The
like-
thing was,
like-
I need to find out what it is that's your underlying problem, because it's like I like to do like an onion peel.
Yeah,
As in,
yeah.
like I have to peel one side.
Yeah,
after,
yeah,
boom,
that's exactly what it is.
Hit that one. That's
Yeah.
cut. Boom. Another one. Cut that one. Done. Until I can find
All
it.
right,
and
question
then
for
I'm
you. Question for you. Are you good with women?
I flirt with them on doors.
No.
that's it. Rank on
Listen, on doors.
No.
In general, yeah.
I didn't mean in your work. I meant
in
generally. Generally, are you good
yeah.
with women? Why would you say you're good with women?
I let them speak more than me. In fact, the one thing was that I asked open questions to get
Okay.
them more.
Okay,
interested
I
in
can.
me.
All this what you're saying, I can tell about you, by the way, because that's just my job too, innit? So I can see. So that same thing you are with girls is the same thing with a client. Is unraveling. But let's go a step further. I ask the right questions and I ask open questions and let them speak. But you know, I also do go steps further. If you notice, this whole
That's what I'm saying.
conversation,
What goes further?
it's always about that step further. Everything you're saying is pretty much the same thing we're saying, but it's always that step further. Yeah, is that I will step into your shoes and tell you how you feel, and then confirm I'm right, and then blow your mind in the process.
So walk me through it, yeah.
Say again.
Walk me through it. Like,
So,
I need an
so
example.
say for it, I'm not going to do women. 'Cause
Now
I
I need an example just because
I
it
can't
helps me
give
get
away
that
my can't
understanding
give away
a
my
little
source
bit
like that. But with clients, for example, like I said, the woman who's turned around and said, like, so if I've said to you, look, I'm not comfortable giving you my bank details on the doorstep, yeah, what do you hear from that? Like, what just anything, no right or wrong answer. Just tell me what you hear. What do you think?
I just
I'm hearing pain.
Okay, you're hearing pain.
Pain. So
I'm
that
hearing
means
scared.
that tells me like I fucked up somewhere for you to not feel comfortable enough to just.
That's one
Slot
thing.
it.
Anything else?
Scared.
What about if someone else has fucked up prior and it wasn't you? So what if someone else has come to a doorstep?
But this is what I would also say. Like, do you mind me asking why?
Yeah.
That is-
So
yeah,
no, but
true,
I'm gonna
true.
get there. So there's a chance that could have been the case, right? So I'm aware of that, mainly just life experience and also just studying human behavior. So my thing would be totally get where you're coming from, and to be honest, like I said, a lot of people would feel the same. I'd probably feel the same as well. Being on the doorstep, giving my bank details away. Out of curiosity, have you ever been in a scenario like this before? Is this your first time? That may be the be all and end all that you would never uncover if you carried on talking.
Okay,
What
I've
she-
never asked that question.
Now, what she might turn around and say, which is very common, she might turn around and say, do you know what it is? It might not even be doorstep. It might be, do you know what it is? 3 months ago, I ended up getting a scam text and I replied to it and I lost £500. No way. Now what you know is her fears, and you know the fact that she acted off impulse there. So you know she does still act off impulse.
What was that question one more time?
You can't stop me in the flow like that because I won't remember. You're gonna have to watch it back.
It's recorded.
If she does act off impulse, that's something for you to know about her in regards to how she buys. But she's also been stung off that, which is also something for you to know about her. So now what you've got to do is talk about it and then move on. But let me tell you something that's mad about humans. Her just telling you that will still this is mad, will still allow her to do the same thing. Do you know why? Because she's now not holding it in anymore. She's told you that. So it's like, for example, if a girl's sitting there thinking, oh yeah, I can't lie, everyone with the name Kai has always violated me in my life, but she's not going to tell you that because she's not comfortable to. She don't know you from anywhere. You just walked over to her at the bar. If you turn around and said, oh, why did you not, why, what is it? Because my name's Kai, and then she was able to actually unravel, she feels like, just like we do when we have these conversations, she's let something off her chest. Now that's therapy. So now she feels good because you're getting endorphins letting things off your chest, right? So now she's told you that, now it doesn't hold as much pain.
So now what's the next step?
Yeah, how do you deal with it? Because I had someone just like that actually.
So now she's unraveled her pain. Now you know it. Now you cuddle, you hug, you find out what the point is. Like, okay, really, what happened?
So let's talk in bank step on the
In the back. So
on the
really,
door.
that. So what?
So I had someone like that, and they was like, they answered it for me as in, listen, I've been done with fraud before.
Okay.
And my thing was fantastic. I didn't say fantastic. Sorry, it's the buzzer. It always catches me. But I was just like, oh. So I'm really sorry to hear that. And I was like, listen, to obviously secure everything safe, I want you to take a picture of my ID. So we walk.
Not enough.
An ID. So what would you do?
It's fine where you're going, but not enough. It's like I just said to you that I've been a victim of fraud, and all you're gonna do is say, "Oh no, that's really bad." Well, what I can do is, it's not enough. No way. What happened? Because she wants to tell you. That's why she's brought it up.
Would you ever be like, me too?
Yeah, you can do me too. No, you can do me too. I wouldn't say it like
many times I
that.
said to someone like, oh, swear you got me too.
I wouldn't say it like that.
That's
That tonality is crazy. I wouldn't say it like that, but yeah, you can do me too. Do you know what? They're absolute scumbags, aren't they? It happened to me 3 months ago. What happened to you?
So that sounds to me like one thing which I say helps a lot of sales is relate and relax.
Yeah, you got bare
Man's got
analogies.
all the buzzwords.
No, I don't. I need to stack
Yeah.
So
No, it's good though. It's the way we do have our own version, to be honest. Like I said, hot potato, we do have our own as well, but it's a lot more simpler. But yeah, relate. What was that? Relate and relax.
Relate and relax. So obviously, like, I'll give you an example. Sale I had this week. Girl said she had a bad day and everything. Obviously, like, what's your name? Grace. I was like, same name as my girlfriend. And then obviously she don't know I got a girlfriend called Grace. In fact, I don't have a girlfriend called Grace, but it's like from then on I was like having a conversation. She goes, "You're just like Grace. You wear glasses and everything." And then from then on she's like, "Yeah, I've had a rough day and everything." Then she's obviously opened the door.
Yeah, it's familiarity.
Carried on.
Yeah, it's familiarity. And do you know what else you've done? Okay, so see with that statement you just said, again, let's think further. What do you think you've also done though? So you said
I feel like I built trust.
girlfriend called Grace. How though? Why do you think there's trust now?
Because she's thinking, oh, he deals with a Grace. He must like girls with name Grace or something like that.
What else does that mean? Something further.
It means she's willing to talk.
The fact that you even are in a relationship and mentioned your woman says that I can trust you, because only men who mention their woman are people that you can trust. So if you're a man
I
with
never
a,
thought of it like that.
I never thought of it like
but
that.
this is the
Yo,
thing, most people don't.
My girl's name's Grace too.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, you're right, but I'm saying you gotta always look deeper. That's where the NLP comes in. Yes, she has sat and thought, oh, he knows a Grace, that's great, that's fine. But what she really, and she might not even know, but what she's really thinking is, a man with a woman looks after his woman, he cares about her Grace. That's amazing. Like, there's more trust towards that kind of man than this single man who probably lies to women every other day. You're a man who lays down with the same woman and has told me about that. That's a man to trust. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't make these rules, by the way.
I'm a rinse.
This is
bro.
but big disclaimer.
But I've
Remember,
never thought
I don't
about-
make
I never
these
thought of it
rules.
like that, you
This
know?
is how, like,
But how do you know they think of it like that?
okay. Do you think they think it like that? Now I've said that. Does that make
In
sense
fact,
to you?
now you
It
said
makes
it.
sense,
In fact,
though.
now you
It's
said it.
logical, bro.
I've never thought about how they think, how they perceive it.
All right, it's not that.
I've just
It's
thought
not that I'm
we can
some
relate
mad
to
genius. Someone like just logical, basic, simple maths. A guy over here who's single, ready to mingle, and a guy over here who's got a girlfriend and speaks about it in the public. Don't get me wrong. What's so dumb about human beings is my man could be way more honest than my man. However, what we assume is that, oh, what a lovely guy, he's speaking about his missus. That's amazing. He's a trustworthy person, and he's probably got stability because he's got a missus. When you have a missus, you have stability, right? So you're not just gonna pop up one day and just, I don't know, be drunk last night and 10 different girls, and now you're lying to you. You don't have to lie because you have a woman. So now I can trust you more. Now, again, when I say I don't make the rules, this is just a result of studying human beings and realizing that this is what you lot actually buy into. This is, do you get what I'm saying? Like, this is actually what you lot think. You lot got me going mad on this podcast.
Nah, I love this podcast. Though.
You know, it's because I'm interested in sales.
Hey, question I have for you two: who closes more out of you two?
Nah, he does though. He does though.
To be honest,
But-
I will give him credits because there was the third week he did beat me.
No,
It's mad that he beat you. But he's just,
Now, that week I had a theory test and I still went out to the field.
don't come with that.
you can actually be cold though. I just hope you know that. Because there was something, you got aggression. You just got, there was something else you done. There's something else you done.
Aggression.
Because I'm such a listener, there was something else you said within this. I'd have to watch it back. And when you said that, I was thinking, that's a good trait. So you just got to like blend it with, it's kind of like me and him, to be honest. Because he was a lot more like aggressive, I'd say, in his sales tactic. I'm sure you wouldn't mind me saying that.
No.
He was a lot more aggressive in his sales tactic. And I was kind of like, ooh, bro, like, but don't get me wrong, you need that too, though. Because he's a man, you're paying on a call with him. Don't even pick up. It's cost you $5,000, man. But yeah, here we are.
So let's go back to that point. Yeah, the bank details, the fraud. Yo, what's next?
Oh, after
next?
that part.
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah.
So you've shown them comfortability. Do they totally understand I've been in that position? Really, what do they do? Are they this, that, the other? Now, the fact that you're getting them to uncover their pain, they're comfortable with you now. They're telling you about something that happened that was quite embarrassing and painful. So that's a bond. That's usually how you bond with any human being, yeah? So now there's a bit of a bond. Then I'll re-loop. So I'll go back for the close. Yeah, no, I totally get it. Look, all right, what I will say, yeah, and I want you guys to listen to how I'm going to say this, because it sounds like I'm about to add new value, but there's actually no new value. It's the same thing as before. What I will say is this, all right, rather than you feeling uncomfortable, I'll just jot them down on my phone. I'll do it while you're here, and then I'll get it all sent over so you can see it's all done, and then it's out of my hands, because that's the worry, right, in case I have the details. So let's just do that. So what was the sort code again? All I've done is gone back for the close and done the same thing.
See, why would you do the same thing? Because I wouldn't do the same thing at that point.
Why?
I would have done it on their phone.
No, you don't need to. That's another option, but you know why you don't need to in this? Because you disarmed. You've already disarmed. The problem wasn't the phone. The problem is nothing to do with that.
Nah, but it just shows like another hand, as in, you know what? Don't do it on my phone, because I understand.
That's a way. Mm-hmm. But my thing is always about conditioning. That means that they're conditioning you. They're saying they don't want to do it on your phone. You say, okay, you can do it on yours. It's cool, but it's going to bite you in the ass later.
Why do you say it's going to bite you in the ass?
Because it's conditioning. The condition that she understands, just like a child.
So you mean as in she set the condition and now?
If you say to your child, you're going to bed at 8, and she says, I'm going to bed at 9. Okay, 8:30.
Okay.
When Claire gets to 18, she's telling you, fuck off, mum. Like, there's bad conditioning. Do you get what I mean? So the conditioning is, I've said, that's why if you notice in the role play we just done, I said 2 to 4 weeks. I said
so
2
you
to
set
4
the condition.
weeks.
How does it work though? Because obviously when it comes to setting the condition, not everybody will comply. So how do you deal with the ones who don't comply?
They're not my client.
Boom, that's it.
They're not my client.
Next person.
There's a certain thing I'm looking for. Like I always say, I'm a sniper. I don't really do machine gun. Like I'm looking for something. And when I come across it, bang, 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 bang. But certain things have got to align. So it's got to be decision maker, liquid, understand I'm authority. When they all align, perfect. Do you get what I mean? Do you lose clients? I'll lose clients. I lose people. They're not all. Remember, everyone's got a different approach. He might have more patience than me. I might have more patience than him. He might lose a deal. I might be able to get it, vice versa. He might be a bit tougher than I was.
All right, so individually, just like me and Anthony, we have separate things which might work for me, that won't work for him. And obviously, when we talk about it, you like a breakdown at the end of the day, you're like, maybe you could have done this differently.
Yeah, that's sick, by the way.
So obviously, for yourself, what is it, Cam, that separates you from Trist when it comes to closing your deals? Because one thing my manager always says to me, just because one thing we have, obviously, door to door. I remember she put someone on my road, and they had got. Remember, in fact, it pissed me off. They had got free sales on that road, and I took the other side, and I was like, yo, if she had free sales, I could have had them free sales. But then he mentions to me, listen, people buy people. What she said, you might not have said, so that probably works for her. So, what works for you guys individually?
You just got different approaches. Like I'm someone that I'm good at squeezing people. I'm good at squeezing people in the sense of
aggressive, then, eh?
do you know what it is? I just find it very comfortable in that space. Like in the awkward spaces, I'm very cool with it.
You're just chill.
Which is a big superpower.
And I'll give you time. Like I can. Some people, it's like if they're thinking you're stressed, I can just put you on mute and I'll just sit.
So
wait,
you're the type of
man
man to let, in a way, it comes as passive closing, but to let them do the closing for themselves.
What do you mean by that?
As in, to the point where you're so quiet, it's like someone's got to fill that awkward void.
Oh, no, definitely. I'm good at not speaking.
It.
I'm very good at not speaking. Okay. Because I don't find it awkward. We can sit and wait.
It's cold. It's cold.
Anyway, I can't really do it right now. And you just be like,
yeah, I'm good at not speaking.
I ask him to take calls for me. Like, don't get twisted. I'm talking the most, but there's calls that I know that approach is better, and I just don't sell like that. But I've become a lot of my friends do, and I know that is cold.
You hit it on the head. Everybody has their own
100%
style. Now I'm saying,
that's what we've been trying to say.
What I'm saying.
I think it just fits in alignment with your personality.
You guys teach?
That as well.
So you were saying, so that's the use about to come at my question. So you were saying, whatever works for you, stick to it.
Yeah.
But do you ever feel like in your training, do you guys ever teach how to adapt different styles of training? Because as I said, because remember what I said, in the first part, I'm calm and cool, but when it
Yeah.
comes to the close, I'm certain.
And that's why
You
I
guys
think
ever
we're the
teach
best.
that in the
That's why I think we're the best because we do.
So there's a different
We
style.
apprehend that there's different styles. We don't do the we teach the mechanisms. The mechanisms they don't change really. How you're delivering changes. So if he turns around on an awkward one and says, okay, that's £10,000 and you got to pay now. That we still teach that. Like we still teach that in our sales academy to do that, but I'm saying that the way he said that might not have been how I said it on a call. So I'll be like, that's £10,000 you need to pay now. He might have said it's just different how he's delivered it and what he's willing to do on the back end of it, but the mechanism of it, which is be direct, sit on the call, we still teach it.
How do people respond to that question?
What do most people say?
Like,
Most
what-
people,
what's the-
you know
what's
what?
the
Okay,
funniest
so
one?
if I really cut the crap, most people are. The reason I know it is because most people are cowards, so they won't say what they think. That the actual problem is the reason that I can do it and I get away with it is because you feel awkward, and because you've been speaking for an hour, you feel awkward. So now you're gonna do it, or you might do something mad. So like when I first started, like I said, I was too aggressive, where people would just leave the call.
Bro.
They were so scared and they couldn't. And the thing is, that makes it
Crazy. That's
but
mad.
you know what's mad?
No, that is mad. No, that's mad. When he told me that, I was like, that's mad.
No. And that was.
Just leave the. All you hear is.
They were just,
left the chat.
No, you don't hear nothing on Zoom, innit? You don't hear nothing on Zoom. So these times, this is early doors. These times I think I'm still closing. I'm all refreshing the invoice. And I said, hey, hello? And like they're gone. But what the reason I say that is because people don't respond negatively to things. People will just, even if there's an inkling that they want to do it, but they didn't really want to pay now and they would have rather paid in 30. If I just say to pay now, people are going to do it. I'm not getting people to pay now that are never going to pay. Like that's the point I want to make. I'm not forcing people to pay right now on the call because you never. It just seems more aggressive than what most people do because most people feel awkward about it. I just don't. Like
So
it doesn't
when- yeah.
feel
So
aggressive.
when
to
they
me.
say they can't pay now, I'm guessing you do the
People just don't.
offer the alternative as in
No.
payment.
No.
plan.
Cut
I
the
don't-
crap.
I
I
don't
hate
do
that. I hate
So,
that you even said
the way,
that.
I don't
so
offer
the way
you a
how you
change.
just did it with me on remote sales, you would do it completely different. If it was your own team,
No.
you would do it different.
No.
That was so. I assumed that role play was we've been going back and forth. I've asked you for the figure. You've ended up saying you can only afford a certain amount. But if you notice, my first question was, why can't you afford that?
Yeah.
What would it take? You made it clear I didn't have to do a lot because you said to me,
Yeah.
I get this on then. But if someone has turned around and said, oh no, I can't afford that right now. Again, anyone listening to this, like, it's very amateur to be like, okay, well, we do payment plans. Like, wait a sec, bro.
What I would say.
So what do you mean, wait a sec?
To add to that is I will. You can quote unquote win, but on my terms. So if you can't afford it, instead of being like, okay, we'll do payment plans, and you don't want to pay now, okay, cool. What about if you pay? When would you like to pay? Pay in an hour? Okay. Instead of that, it's like you can win on my terms. So it's okay. You can't afford. All right. I tell you what we can. 500. You said you can. I tell you what I can do. If we can make that 750, what I do, I have to go away and talk to the team. Is 750 okay now?
Yeah, sure, it'll be alright.
Okay, cool. What I'll do, I'm just gonna pop you on hold and talk to the team. So now I've got 750. You said 500. I can't go on 500. You said 500. These times it doesn't actually make a difference. I can take 500. I can take 505. 500 is fine with me. I'm okay with it. But I can't let you get on the call and come out thinking he said I had to pay $1,000 today. I said 5 bills and he went on 5 bills. I need to make it a big hoo-ha that, oh my God, let me. 500 we can't do. We just can't do 500. And it's like I can meet you somewhere, but you have to meet me as well. We're not getting on this call because the moment I do that, you now take control of the call. It's now, you might even turn around.
So what do you guys call that? Like pulling?
Yeah, I guess so.
I just think, look, if I jump to the
conditioning.
500, you might turn around and be like, do you know what? 500 is actually too much. And this is the things that will happen. If you give someone in, say, take them out, by the time they come to pay, do you know what? 500 is actually too much. What I'll do, I'll just send you over 250. Now that's all right? Now you're stuck. Now when you say no, now you feel combative. It's like, what do you mean no? You said it's awkward. It's actually, if I face fire with fire early doors, you'll realize most man's fire turns to water. That's actually what
That's cold.
If
Cold.
your early doors, you start setting pace a particular way, people will just accept that. It's like, I'm sure you had at school, there were some teachers that were just tough teachers and you didn't mess about. When they shouted at you, it was calm. But there's a nice teacher that when they shouted at you, you're thinking, bro, who's man shouting at, bro?
Yeah.
That's because the conditioning's weak. It's the same thing on the sales call, bro. If you jump on the sales call and I'm pandering you, I'm letting you get away with things. The moment I say no, you're going to be mad. If I'm just the guy that says no to everything, I'm harsh. Like, my sales calls, they're strict. I can't lie. Like, the difference is, people don't actually jump off the call with me and think, I really love that camera guy. He's going to be my friend. But what they do jump off is think, I really respect that guy and he's going to help my business or he's going to help me sell. That's what they think with me. So that's a contrasting style. People that Trist sells, they'll end up loving Trist, which works the same way. They'll love and respect.
But I will say, I was just going to say, don't get twisted though. Like, that's the aim though. The aim is what he said. That like I don't want you to just be my friend. You have to respect that.
Yeah,
respect
they'll
me
love
and
and
know that
respect.
like they will love me, but they love me based on the fact I can get them there. That's what's key. Like the whole thing of just being cool and being no. Like we're here to do business, and because I do business so well, it's like any business still. Like we sit down at tables where it's like we do all the pitter patter and all that now, and then afterwards we can all have a drink. That's fine, but as long as you know that with the business is first, and then we can have a drink, no problem. That's how it is in the sales environment. Same thing.
So, any more objections you guys face? One more. 'Cause I know it's getting late for you.
We don't really like.
Because obviously you said you deal with it.
Nah, I'll tell you a funny story though. I'll give you this funny story though. We had a call the other day, and it was almost like we just knew it was a bookie call. It was random. Like, it was like we thought because we got personal brands. Like sometimes we just think we're just getting pranked. Especially me, I'm just paro. I just think man are pranking me, bro. Like so. Anyway, we had this call booked. The guy's eager, but he done everything that a prospect would do. So again, sometimes you got to give people enough rope to hang themselves. You can't just be like, I think you're bookie, because he might not be. He might just be a good client. So we got on a call. Sold a note, said he could afford it, this, that, and the other. So we got on a call. And then when we got on the call now, he was a little bit road. So I was like, as I'm talking, I'm like, but one of the things about sales, you don't ever want to judge a book by its cover. We used to get banned from looking at our prospects' addresses because then you'd think that the house is a certain size and you'd assume that they have a certain amount of money.
That's
mind games.
That's like territory because you get sent territory and like, oh, these bungalows.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Because once you start doing them patterns,
Then again, I feel like
it fucks your brain.
You start to condition yourself.
Yeah, it fucks your
true,
brain.
true.
But I still do battle with that. But that's maybe something I could improve on. I battle with that.
Sales is such a mindset.
Bro, I battle that with humans. Like, I'll if a man DMs me, I'll pre him up and think, what's my man on? Like, but the thing is, I could be. No, I do. Like, but I could be wrong. I do need to stop doing that. But unfortunately, the environment man was raised in, it's almost like defense. It's like survival almost. You know what I'm saying?
He's my man.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So anyway, he's got on the call. He's a little bit road. I'm talking. I'm flipping the thing. You know, obviously we're headset boys. So I'm flipping the headset up. I'm saying to Cam, my man's road. Carry on talking to him, whatever. Then he's gone. So we're charging 5K. Was that a 5K deal? 5K deal, 3K deal. We're charging a 5K. The 5K deal. He's on some bro, Aki, I followed you for time. He's like, bro, I fuck with you, bro. I seen you on Jimbo's page. Like, that's my brother. Like, you're my brother. Like, he's giving me all of that. I'm like, my brother. But again, emotion management. I don't get gas thinking, oh my God, that's 5K. Like, I'm just thinking like, no. If anything, something we put in our cause is that I'm always a bit paranoid. Most good closers are. Like, in the sense of, don't think it's a deal until it's in the till, innit?
Yeah, that's something we got. It's never done until it's done.
Never done. So he's saying all that. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm saying to Cam, don't know. But then he starts saying the right things, like, yeah, do you know what it was, bro? I was looking to move to Dubai, and it just made sense, bro. Like to align with you. And on top of that, I'd love to know your network. I'm like, all right, cool. And he's like, how did it start? He said, so what, 5K, yeah? I said, yeah.
He went on to me. I was processing it. And
he
said, can I get one-to-one as well?
No. Prior to that, he kept saying to me, like, what's the bonus though? Like, if I wanted to get, like, how can I get more of you, basically, Trist? Like, I want to get more of you. Like, I want your network. I'm like, all right, so for our network, it's and then, but I'm like, we're not even doing that anymore at the moment. I think it was like 7K, but I said we're not even doing that anymore. Just 5K, bro. That's all we're doing right now. He's like, all right, cool. He's gone on to Cam's processing the invoice, and he's like, do you know what though? Can I do that one-to-one? Cam's like, I think it's busted, that's 10K.
Yeah.
So Cam's like, yeah, that's fine. But we can put him on hold first because we're not actually doing one-to-ones right now. So we're debating it. I'm thinking.
I remember I told him we're not doing them. I said, you know what I said to him? Because it's not even like we wanted to take the
both
money.
on the call at the same time?
No, you could hear it.
I jumped on and I said, we're not doing one-to-ones at the moment. One-to-ones are for people that finish the course because it makes most sense. Like, we're not going to do one-to-ones now. We want to train you. You get the job. Then once you get the job, we'll do the one-to-ones because that's going to be most impactful. He said, and we said, but what you can do if you're super eager is obviously we have a waiting list, so you can put down for the waiting list. And that would be, I can't remember, X amount. Let's say we said it was 10 grand. He said, okay, here's what I want to do. I want to pay you guys 10,500 because of how hard you guys are working. No, to motivate you.
Broski, we don't even have a 10,500 product. He was so specific about the 500.
Yeah.
So obviously Cam's saying to me, I'm saying to Cam, but again, of like, if it was really going to funny stories, one of my colleagues had a deal with an investment client years back. The investment client went so far and said, "I'm 100% in." I think it was like 100k or 50k or whatever the K was. And he said, "Look, let's sign the contract." He said, "I own a plane. Come down to Biggin Hill Airport. Meet me at the airport. We'll sign the contract." He's been talking to him for weeks, bro. My man went down to Biggin. See, when my boys hear this story, they will die, bro. My guy, yeah, he wasn't my guy, but this guy went down to Biggin Hill Airport on a Saturday morning at 7 a.m., bro. My man didn't show up, bro. He was there till like 3 in the afternoon, hoping he was gonna show up. Why? We will never know. There's some things that human beings, they're just weird, bro. So obviously my man's done all of that now. So in the end, we're like, all right, cool.
No, I said no. In the end, we said no. We said, look, I'll just send you the 5K. Deal with that. Forget the paying us for motivation. Forget all of that. Like, but by this time, we know he's mad. Like, I'm looking at just like, my man's
There's no reason for why he's mad. Because when he's saying Jimbo, all this stuff, that's real stuff. Like, he's not he's not just making it up. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And
you know why they have no shame? It's not like it's cold. People have an Instagram. Like, there's a face to the name. Yeah,
there's a face to the name.
So we sent in the 5K invoice. He was like, no, this is what he did. And again, because I knew he was Buki, I done the all right, basically pay now thing. Yeah. And then he just left the call. But it wasn't but there was no aggression to it. He was saying, I'll hit that now. Like, I'll send it now. I'll do it right now. Like, I've got it in front of me right now. So I was like, okay, cool, send in the invoice. Then he just left. Then do you know what was mad? Just for banter, I've called him back and he picked up straight away. This is how I know his game weren't finished yet. Like, he was still wanting to continue to have fun. Picked up straight away. He said, "Oh, sorry, bro. I thought my job was done." He said, "Oh, pay now." He said, "Yeah, I'll pay. Just give me 5 minutes. I'll get that paid." And I was like, "Yeah, all right." And then that was it, man. Just left him. So then no, tell a lie. Then he messaged one of our setters and said, I was gonna pay, but I ended up paying someone else for a course.
10K.
I paid 10K to someone else for a course. Again, more just mind games.
In the space of 2 hours, he's made the decision with someone else who does something else that's totally not what he needed.
But it's all just... It was just mind games.
But that's the thing with styles, you gotta be ready for everything though. I'll be honest, me personally, I've come across way more than that, just mad. You couldn't explain, it's humans, innit? If you play statistics with humans and you call 1 million people, bro, you're gonna find some weird ones in there, man. Do you know what I mean?
The ones that are just gonna entertain it from
bro.
Yeah.
So what, you guys, is he still messaging you guys today?
No. He's off
now,
now.
I'm guessing he filled out the form like,
yeah.
That's a good call.
Bro, man did all of that.
So where's it?
I big up my brother as well if he watches this, man. Yeah, big up you.
That's a clip,
we were laughing, bro. Like, you didn't get us. We was laughing,
so
man.
even then, even after, so remember we were saying, even after you do the qualifying questions, did you guys not do another one?
No, we did. He's just
lying.
lying.
He's just lying.
He's just having a
all qualification. The guy said he's
basically just chatting.
He's just chatting, isn't it? Like, it could have been for whatever reason. It might have been a prank. Like, that's the downfall sometimes of the person.
That must be a prank.
That prank wouldn't have been fun for him, though. Not that long,
20
maybe 20 minutes. But that prank wouldn't have been fun for him, though. I can't lie.
Yeah, it was
very unfun.
I used to be a prankster when I was a kid.
So
it was way better than
on the camera and everything?
No,
it was a phone call.
But the reason I say it wasn't fun is because we weren't biting. Like, I reckon, if I thought it was fun and I went on a sales call, I might say, you know what, I'll pay you double. And you'd say, okay, that's
funny, isn't it?
Like, we said
then
no.
you could have filmed us. We could have went viral and man could have been like, I got you lot.
But we said no. He said, I want to pay you 10.5. We said, louder 10.5, bro. You're going mad. Like, we actually kind of, after a while, it started to get to a point where I'm saying, bro, forget the 10.5. Like,
but you gotta really be like that. Remember, so you see scenarios like that.
Anybody else would have been like 10.
Exactly. Yeah. But I've been like that with a meal to like whatever it is. And sometimes it will come in, and sometimes it's just mind games. But you've got to be the same.
Is that what you was talking about earlier with the no matter how much you close and everything, you gotta keep that same.
Bro,
no, we did keep it the same because we still set in the fact, like, as much as we knew it was a joke, there's a 0.0001% that it might not be. So I'm not gonna tell him, I'll piss off because I'm still just gonna send you the 5K invoice. I'm not gonna bite on the 10.5. I still send you the 5K and then just leave it. Like, I didn't check on it, I didn't refresh it. I just sent the 5 and then that was it. It was done. After that, because at the end of the day, he still could buy, probably won't, but still could. So we didn't judge him negative. We judged him negatively, but we didn't act any different. We just acted the same way.
It's got to be the same.
That's sick.
Any more stories like that?
Oh, I got loads, man. We ain't got time, man. I actually like. Do you know what I will say? We actually got a mini series coming onto my YouTube channel called Sal Stories. We've done about 10 of them already. And they're just raw and uncut. There's like 5-minute videos, 10-minute videos, stories like this, crazy ones, this mad ones. Like, just I think to be fair, we need to add my man onto it. But
definitely.
It's ones like that. The craziest one is one I've told Bear, which is the guy picked up the phone and we said we got your wallet, and he ended up Yeah, long story.
What?
They can check out the YouTube for that.
Yeah, check out the
I was gonna
YouTube.
say, yo,
Yeah.
quick 1 minute.
No. That's a great
Check
great
out the
thing.
YouTube.
If you want to
No,
know more
no.
stories,
There's
check out
stories.
the YouTube. 'Cause we've given a
there's
lot of
stories
game and
there.
gems.
What's the YouTube?
today. Mine is Trist Taylor.
Man's Can Cam Get Rich.
But we've got a new channel which is Cutting the Crap. That's the new channel, and we just dropped a vlog on there from the Level Up Day. You guys are in that as well. Yeah, man. That's our new one. We got our podcast coming
Yeah, I saw that as well.
real
We
soon.
got loads of
Cutting the
content on
Crap.
that one.
Yeah, okay.
We've got sales lessons to go on there. We've got cool breakdowns like what we've done here today. I can't lie, you lot just got some very,
100%.
very
You know what
good
the thing is though?
content.
The reason it started, I wanted to start making some sales content. Just talking about sales.
Nah, I love this.
It was
This
good.
is
It
what I
was
want
good to
every
hear what
pod
you
to
say.
be like. I'll be honest, because it's been sales, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sales
100.
inside out.
Yeah. Well, we'd like to thank you boys for coming on.
My brother,
Big facts,
man.
bro.
You know, that's
Big
always
up.
love,
Man,
my
man.
bro.
Alright.
Come on.
Appreciate you boys and see you guys soon.
Come on.
And if you want to just get my plug,
Go on.
Go on.
anyone who wants to enroll to the Cut the Crap Sales Academy, there are roles available for you to get into remote sales roles. If you just want the training, inquire. We will, if you come through this episode, we will apply I was going to say Gen Z, I'm just thinking about last week. We're going to apply a CEO of You podcast.
Say that you came through.
So just say that you came. So if you're watching this far, is this camera right?
Yeah.
If you're watching this far, you will get a discount. Bear in mind, so our entry fee is 5,000. Then we done 3,000 for the first 100. Yeah, we've got a scholarship in place if you're in full-time education where you can actually get it for 995. If you're not in full-time education,
swear?
but you've watched this to the end, drop us a message. Let us know, because remember, they can only know if they've watched it to the end,
Walk us,
innit?
walk us,
You know what I'm saying?
walk us through the packages because you said you got the.
Yeah, so we've got a
5,000,
scholarship that we
3,000
introduced
and
recently. The scholarship is only for people in full-time education up to 21. If you can prove you're in full-time education,
That's
you
sick.
won't
So
get
what?
the job, bro.
I'm in still full time
Oh, you won't
education.
You won't get the job, bro.
I'm still in full time education.
Yeah, that's fine, but you won't. But you won't get the job, bro.
get the job.
So we no
Okay.
problem.
the training's still
Or
enough.
the
isn't
next
it?
entry points are 3K and 5K. Different benefits. We'll go into it on the call. Just get them to this inquire. So
Okay.
scholarship, 3K and 5K.
So what, do we get commission per anyone who goes through?
Yeah, do you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone that comes through Gen Z, Gen Z.
No, you do get.
No, do you know why we spent so much time?
I saw it.
Oh, you was at the event,
We was,
innit?
In my
we
brain.
was actually thinking about coming, but we
Shout
had
out
two
Gen Z,
podcasts
man.
that day. We
Yeah,
had
we
two
had two
pods that
pods,
day.
Yeah. Someone come up to me actually, said he knows you lot.
JM.
I don't know his name, but he was like, you
Camera
know,
guy.
my guys. Yeah.
Camera guy.
He did
Yeah.
tell me.
Oh,
He did tell me.
Yeah.
Shout out, JM. But appreciate it, boys.